Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I'm your host, Orion. I got a great show for you here today. We got the Houston Astros and the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Saturday, everyone. Left, third baseman stud Carlos Correa, and on the right, one of the best overall players on the Seattle Mariners in this early 2026 season, second baseman extraordinaire Cole Young. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Houston Astros. Leading off for the Astros at shortstop, Jeremy Pena. Batting second, playing DH tonight for the Astros, Jordan Alvarez. Batting third, playing first base, Isaac Paredes. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, playing second base tonight, Jose Altuve. Batting fifth, playing third base for Houston, Carlos Correa. Batting sixth, playing left field, Joey Loperfido. Batting seventh, playing right field, Cam Smith. Batting eighth, catching today for H-Town, Yanier Diaz. And batting ninth, playing center field, Taylor Trammell. And on the mound for the Houston Astros with a 1-0 record, an ERA of 3.27, Lance McCullers Jr. And now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, catching today for Seattle, it's big dumper Cal Raleigh. Batting third, playing center field, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, it's Nails Josh Naylor. Batting fifth, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting sixth, playing right field, Luke Raley. Batting seventh, playing second base, Cole Young. Batting eighth, DHing today for Seattle, the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. And batting ninth, playing third base, Leo Rivas. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 0-0 record, an ERA of 2.79, it's La Piedra Luis Castillo. And we're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Brandon Donovan, still feeling a little bit under the weather. That's why you're seeing JP leading off again. Did get some time warming up from the flu or cold that he had for the last few days. And it is expected that he will be starting in the lineup tomorrow, as well as possibly Monday in Game 3 and Game 4. Will we see him pinch hit at some point in this game? I doubt it today. But again, we will wait and see how he feels. But hopefully he'll be in the lineup tomorrow. Let me get everything set up here. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Luis Castillo on the mound. Jeremy Pena in the box. As well as in the past that we've mentioned, we're dedicating the year to our boy Rick Riz. This is our 50th anniversary for the Seattle Mariners. He's been on the radio for more than 40 plus years, and we obviously still love and appreciate Dave Niehaus. We're doing it for him as well, but we want to make sure we can do it for Rick Riz and go out on a high note. Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I'm your host, Orion. And again, last night's victory was probably the most satisfying victory we've had all season. Obviously, when you start off the year 4-9 and, you haven't been playing very well. We were on a 5-game losing streak. The Astros were on a 4-game losing streak after getting swept by the Rockies. Something had to give. And again, the only real big mistake is possibly bringing in Cole Wilcox instead of Matt Brash. Yordan Alvarez hits a 3-run jack when we're up 9-3. Should have won 9-3, but we still win 9-6, even though Andres Munoz kind of got shaky there towards the end, but we got the job done. First pitch from Luis Castillo to Jeremy Pena. Fouls it behind the plate, 0-1 count. Michelle in the building, what's good? Jacob in the building, what's good? TJ in the building, what's good? Marine Bean in the building, what's good? 0-1 pitch, high and away. Sinker, 94 miles an hour there by La Piedra. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jeremy Pena. And again, we did have a victory against the Guardians where we won 8-0 with Emerson Hancock, but that just seems ages ago. And obviously at that point, we weren't on a 5-game losing streak. So I definitely think that those are probably the 2 best wins we've had up to this point, and hopefully we'll have many, many more. Pitch fouled off, out of play. Slider 84 miles an hour there by La Piedra. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Luis Castillo to Jeremy Pena. Trident's up. Let's go M's. One-two pitch. Low and away. Slider 86 miles an hour there by Luis Castillo. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jeremy Pena. And I'm really happy that my best friend and his dad got to see the best game of the year so far. And hopefully they can double it up here. 2-2 pitch, hard hit ball, deep left field. Randy back to the warning track, but caught. And that is 1 away. Nice job there by Randy Arosarena. And we obviously know Randy in pop-ups, he's just fine. He can handle that. Ground balls, another story. Down goes Jeremy Pena, flying out to left field, and that is 1 away. Next up in the 2-hole, DHing tonight with a big 3-run blast late against the Seattle Mariners last night, Yordan Alvarez. Now, is it possible that if Brash would have came in instead of Cole Wilcox, that home run still happens? It's possible, but more than likely, probably not. First pitch, big swing and a miss there by Yordan Alvarez. Beautiful changeup by Luis Castillo. 87 miles an hour, low and in the zone. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, popped up. Shallow hit here into the infield, going up a mile. And there is Cole Young with the defense, and that is 2 away. I like the start here for the Seattle Mariners. Down goes Yordan Alvarez, popping out to Cole Young at second base, 2 away. Next up in the 3-hole, first baseman Isaac Paredes. And going through, the batting order and the lineup, the Astros, really did a whole overhaul, not only on the batting order, but switching positions for almost every player in the starting lineup. And I don't blame them based on how things, kind of carried out and finished last night. First pitch from La Piedra to Paredes, high and away, sinker 94 miles an hour, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, beautiful changeup, low and away. 88 miles an hour there by Luis Castillo. No balls and 2 strikes to Isaac Paredes. Top of the first inning, 0-0 here early between the Astros and the Mariners. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 0-2 pitch, crushed into right field, fading out of play. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour there by La Piedra. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the first inning, 0-0 here early between the Astros and the Mariners. 0-2 pitch, crushed into right field, fading foul again. 95-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball there by Castillo. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. And, worst case scenario, Castillo gives up 3 runs. We can't have him give up any more, but hopefully it ends up being 0-2. And that will give us a chance to be able to do some damage. And hopefully the bats will come alive like they did last night when we ended up scoring 9 runs. 0-2 pitch, low and away. Right on the corner, but doesn't get the call. Slider, 86 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Isaac Paredes. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Castillo to Paredes. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 2-2 pitch. Hard hit ball towards third base and foul. Change up 88 miles an hour there by Castillo. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. 0-0 here early between the Astros and the Mariners. Sinker, change up, four-seam, slider, change up so far. And this is pitch number 8. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. I like that. And a nice punch out there by La Piedra. Way to bring the electricity early. And we know with Luis Castillo and Emerson Hancock, when they're bad, they give up runs in the first inning. And usually when they're pretty good, they come out clean in the first inning. And again, 0-0 record, ERA of 2.79. We do know that Hancock did have a, rough second inning, giving up 3 after we scored 3 in the first. But again, great job there by La Piedra, and that's exactly what we like to see. Not giving up any runs in the first inning. Great job, Luis Castillo. And now let's see who's up next here for the Seattle Mariners in the bottom of the first inning. And like I mentioned early in the broadcast, Brendan Donovan's still recovering from the flu, so they're going to give him 1 more day off. And then tomorrow he should be starting, more than likely leading off, unless we end up going against left-handed pitching, where they may have him in the 6 hole, which has been kind of the traditional spot for him. But I would like to see him lead off no matter what. But again, we wish the best for our guy, Brendan Donovan. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, catching today, it's the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. And I figured I would go with the same theme. It took me a little bit more time, to cycle through all my photos as well as get new ones. We went all Connect. And normally I just sprinkle in, the photos that I think that look the coolest. And, HD 4K, some maybe wearing the, cream, maybe a blue jersey for one of the photos, maybe a City Connect for another. But I decided, you know what, after a 5-game losing streak, let's go for some continuity and let's just go all City Connect, for pretty much everyone throughout that lineup. And it ended up working out. And I decided, we're wearing the whites today, and so let's try to be able to find a nice photo for every player. And so it took me a little bit longer to prep. I apologize, but maybe this will give us that good luck that we need here moving forward. Bottom of the first inning, 0-0 here early between the Astros and the Mariners. And on the mound for the Astros, 1-0 record, ERA of 3.27, Lance McCullers Jr. First pitch there to J.P. Crawford, takes a strike looking with a sweeper, 86 miles an hour, 0-1 count. And McCullers has a very good record, 9-10 wins, only 3 losses, ERA under 3. So again, it's going to take a pretty good performance here today. 0-1 pitch, high and away, sinker, 90 miles an hour, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Come on, J.P. 1-1 pitch, high and away, cutter, 87 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. I don't think Donovan being out, Travis, is a big out. I mean, we scored 9 runs without him, so we were able to win without him yesterday, so we can do it today. 2-1 pitch. Pitch is outside, cutter, 87 miles an hour. 3 balls and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Now, obviously, he's been the best hitter on the team up to this point, and we're going to miss him, but at least we proved that we could win without him last night. 3-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle with the sinker, 90 miles an hour. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. J.P., take this walk if it's there. Don't get crazy with a nasty swing at something that's garbage. And a check swing. It ends up going away from the catcher there, Yanier Diaz. Great patience there by J.P. Crawford. And again, we know the pitching has been a little suspect for the Astros, just like the hitting has been suspect for us as well. Vapor in the building. What's good? Thank you so much for your support this year on the channel, as well as last year and the year before. Appreciate you. And there we go. J.P. Crawford on first. Kind of a similar trend that we saw yesterday as well. Next up, it's the big dumper, catcher, Cal Raleigh. First pitch from McCullers Jr., hard hit ball, deep right field, back, see ya! Oh my, Cal Raleigh does it! A big 2-run blast in right field, oh my! 2-0, Mariners, Trident's up, let's go M's. That's how you get the game started, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Cal Raleigh finally getting a hold of one right down the middle against a very good pitcher, Lance McCullers Jr. Take a bow, grab that trident, 2-0 Seattle. Way to bring the electricity. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Go M's. First pitch is low and away. Sinker 91 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Hell yeah. 1-0 pitch, low and away. Sweeper 81 miles an hour there by Lance McCullers Jr. 2 balls and no strikes to Julio Rodriguez. 2-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. Sweeper 81 miles an hour by McCullers Jr. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the first inning, 2-0 Mariners with J.P. Crawford with a walk and Cal Raleigh with a 2-run blast. 2-1 pitch, hard hit ball towards that left field line, going into left field. Go Julio! And he's scrambling all the way to second base. A stand-up double for Julio Rodriguez. Let's go. And you know, momentum goes both ways, right? You know, obviously when it rains, it pours, and we were on a 5-game losing streak. We're starting to lock in against a team that's struggling even maybe worse than us. And Julio Rodriguez with a beautiful base knock down that left field line. And again, getting a nice stand-up double. Next up, in the 4-hole, first baseman Josh Naylor. And we are really bringing it here. And again, it felt good to get off the schneid yesterday. I felt really good about today's chances. And again, Luis Castillo, as long as he pitches up to his ability, you know, this will be a great road trip for my best friend and his dad. I told him this would be a good chance to win these first 2 games. And again, after this, we got Logan Gilbert and George Kirby. And if we can get the good version of Logan Gilbert, I'm not saying that we're going to sweep this team, but we'll take it game in, game out, 1 game at a time, right? And again, if we win today, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow, but a very good chance, you know, that we might be able to go 3 out of 4. And if we win with, you know, Logan Gilbert tomorrow, who knows? Maybe we could sweep. 1-0 pitch, and Naylor pops it up. Cutter 89 miles an hour there into the infield. And that is 1 away. Vapor with a 5er. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. Shout out to Vapor getting us on the board with a 5er. 95 to go. Next up is Randy Arozarena. And again, that extra time, you know, to take to do all City Connect photos and all white jersey photos today. You know, sometimes you got to put in that extra effort when things are going bad. And I like the way that we're playing now. First pitch, low and away with that sinker, 92 miles an hour to Randy Arozarena, 1-0 count. And McCullers is, you know, much better, you know, than the pitcher that we saw yesterday and the number of pitchers that we saw yesterday. And so, again, he's not a type of guy that, you know, really struggles against the Mariners, if anything. You know, I believe he's got a 10-3 record against Seattle, you know, within the last, you know, 2 years. So, you know, to be able to get a big home run from Cal Raleigh, he was overdue. And I'm so thankful that JP got that walk, so that way it does that extra damage. Being up 1-0 is great, but being up 2-0 is fantastic. 1-1 pitch from McCullers Jr. Big swing and a miss, high and away. Cutter 89 miles an hour there by Lance McCullers Jr. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. McCullers on the mound. Arozarena in the box. 1-2 pitch. Low and at the knees. Good patience there by Randy Arozarena. Obviously had that big upper deck blast, when we were at 3-3, that gave us the momentum to go to 5-3, and we never looked back. We still, have issues with the ground balls, and a line drive there to the pitcher. And an unfortunate double play. I didn't think that Lance was going to be able to get that line drive there from Randy. And then they end up getting the deep double play as Julio is quite a bit away from the bag, running towards third. Colors with some great athleticism as he goes down to two knees, throws it down to Altuve, toe tap on the bag. Unfortunate double play, but we can't complain. We got a walk with JP. We got a 2-run blast by Cal Raleigh. And who knows, maybe Julio will be able to go yard, obviously, later in this game. Fantastic start. And again, I'm loving what we're bringing to the table here tonight. Let's see who's up next in the top of the second inning for the Houston Astros. And, I'm not a hater. I'll give Lance a little love, for that defensive gem. And a lot of times when you get a line drive, it's hard for those pitchers to be able to react quick enough to be able to catch that ball and then also have the awareness to get the double play. So I'll give you that. End of the first inning, 2-0 Mariners. Next up for the Astros in the 4-hole, playing second base today, Jose Altuve. Batting second in the 5-hole, third baseman Carlos Correa. And batting third in the 6-hole, left fielder Joey Loperfido. And on the mound for the Mariners, 0-0 record, coming in with an ERA of 2.79, Luis Castillo. Let's get it, La Piedra. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with all the best beats on YouTube. Let's go. Jerry in the building, what's good? We're only 3 subs away from 23,700. So, we've been gaining, usually around 15 to 50 per stream. And we'll see if we can end up getting this number sooner than later. Looks like we've gained 2 subs already since the last commercial break. Now we're only 1 sub away from 23,700. And we've gained well over 300 subs since the season started. So we're off to a very good start. First pitch from Castillo to Altuve, takes the strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, hard hit ball into left field, and it goes off a one-hopper to Randy. He's able to scoop it in the glove, and Jose Altuve, always a thorn in our side, with a base knock into left. We're at 52 likes, 48 to get to 100. Next up is Carlos Correa. First pitch right down the middle. Big swing and a miss. 0-1 count. Nasty slider there by Luis Castillo. La Piedra, 83 miles an hour off speed. 0-1 count. Top of the second inning. Runner at first. Jose Altuve with no outs. 0-1 pitch. Low and away. Slider 84 miles an hour there by Luis Castillo. 1 ball and 1 strike to Carlos Correa. JP Crawford with a walk. Cal Raleigh with a 2-run blast. 2-0 Mariners. Trident's up. One pitch. Whoa, big swing and a miss. Nasty cutter, high and inside. 92 miles an hour. High heat there from La Piedra. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Carlos Correa. 1-2 pitch. Low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first, Jose Altuve, and no outs. Top of the second inning, 2-0 Mariners. And again, we want to be able to get off to a hot start, especially against our rival. They haven't been able, to really pitch very well. We haven't been able to hit very well. Something had to give, but we were able to put up 9 yesterday. And again, we'll see what we get today. Little dribbler, double play, throw to first, and no attempt at first base. Altuve is out with the fielder's choice. And that is 1 away. Next up in the 6th hole, left fielder Joey Loperfido. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. First pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees with a slider, 84 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Castillo is on. And again, we know, with our pitchers, whether it's Wu, Kirby, Gilbert, Castillo, Hancock, or Bryce Miller, you can definitely tell the location of the pitches and the rhythm and the confidence and the aura and vibe that you get within the first couple innings. And you kind of have an idea on how it's going to go. Yeah, there might be an inning like towards the end of the start, around the 5th, where they get tired and give up a couple. But so far, so good here for Luis Castillo. 1-1 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? I think he did. And yes, third base ump says he went around. Slider, 85 miles an hour. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Joey Loperfido. Bash with a tenor. Appreciate you. One-two pitch. High and away. Four-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour there by Luis Castillo. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Top of the 2nd inning, 2-0 Seattle. Bash with a tenor. Appreciate you. We're at 15, 85 zone. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, out of play. Slider, 85 miles an hour there by La Piedra. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Joey Loperfido. And everyone accounted in the starting lineup for a run, even though Cal, obviously was the one guy, from everyone else that ended up, having at least some type of, hit. But I don't think I've ever seen a game, where every player contributed, 1 through 9 with at least a run. Fantastic game last night, except for Cole Wilcox giving up that 3-run blast to Yordan Alvarez late. If it was Brash coming in instead, maybe we win 9-3, but, that's neither here or there. We won the game, and that's what matters the most. 3-2 pitch, fouled off, high and away. Slider, 84 miles an hour there by Luis Castillo. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. 3-2 pitch, popped up and fading into left field. Foul. Slider, 84 miles an hour there by Luis Castillo. Top of the 2nd inning, 2-0 Seattle. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Joey Loperfido. Three-two pitch. Tries to jam him inside. And this is a great at-bat for Loperfido. Anytime that you can grind out, 8, 9, 10, 11 pitches, usually it'll turn into a base hit or a walk more times than not. But we'll see what we get here. Obviously it'd be great to be able to get the punch out, but 3-2 pitch is high and away. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour, a little high there by Castillo. And that was definitely a grinded out type of at bat, which we've seen Cal and a few other guys do on the opposite end as well. Next up for La Piedra in the box will be right fielder in the 7 hole, Cam Smith. Trident's up. Let's go M's. First pitch to Cam Smith, low and away. Slider, 85 miles an hour there by Luis Castillo. 1 ball and no strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. Slow dribbler up the middle, toe tap on the bag, throw to first, and get a nice little double play here to get out of the inning. That would be fantastic. We were able to get 3 double plays yesterday, and we're not going to be able to get them every single time around, but a perfect time called here by Cal Raleigh. You always want to make sure that you have that perfect timing, just like in basketball. When the other team gets on a run, you got to call timeout at the right time, if you just stop the momentum. And if you don't stop the momentum, then obviously 1 hit will turn into 2. It might turn into 3, and then a cheap walk. and then all of a sudden you hit a guy, maybe have a wild pitch, and then all of a sudden a big home run happens, and then all of a sudden you're looking up at the scoreboard and you're down and you're not up. So I like the time call there. Cal was like a second manager for us, and let's see if we can get Castillo settled in. 1-0 pitch, check swing, did he go? And they say he did not. Slider is low and away. 86 miles an hour there by Luis Castillo. 2 balls and no strikes to Cam Smith. 2-0 pitch. Hard hit ball into right field, fading foul. Sinker 96 miles an hour there by Luis Castillo. And really happy that my best friend Justin and his dad are there. They were there last night for the best game of the year. They're here today, and nothing would make me happier for us to not only win for us Mariner fans, but for my best friend and his dad to be able to share a nice memory and go 2-0 on this home stand. Little blooper up the middle. Julio scoops it off a double bounce. Runner pumps the brakes. Nice throw there by Julio. Throw to third, and he is safe. Now we're in a little bit of a jam here. We got bases loaded now with 1 out, and we desperately need the double play now. And if we're not going to be able to get the double play, we have to allow them to score only 1. We can't let them score 2 or 3 or 4. Next up in the 8-hole, catcher today, Yanier Diaz. Come on, Castillo. We got to settle down and we got to settle in. And, our defense has been immaculate, this season for the most part. Obviously, we've had a few errors here and there, but I don't really blame Brendan Donovan with his errors. He's playing a brand new position. Anyone playing a position they've never really played that much before is going to make mistakes. But for other guys, some have been unexcusable, but for overall, it's been pretty damn good. 0-1 pitch, low and away. Change up 88 miles an hour there by Luis Castillo. 1 ball and 1 strike to Yanier Diaz. Bases loaded, top of the second with 1 out, 2-0 Seattle. Really the only thing that we struggle at is hitting. But again, with the 9 runs yesterday, hopefully we can put that behind us and start on a nice win streak. 1-1 pitch, little dribbler towards third, and it goes behind the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yanier Diaz. And there's only a few teams that are above, 500. It was at one point the Yankees, the Guardians, and the Astros, and then it was the Yankees, the Guardians, and the Rangers. And coincidentally, the Mariners have played all of those teams. And so that's a part of it, But again, a lot of American League teams are struggling to start the year. And the National League, typically has around 8 or 9 teams out of 15. So they're doing a little bit better on that side of the bracket. But again, things will start to shape up for the American League. I have a good feeling about that. 2-2 pitch fouled off. And that is out of play and going into right field. Nice souvenir for that fan out there. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour there by La Piedra. Top of the second inning, bases loaded with 1 out. We got to find a way to get this either pop-up, ground out, double play, or back-to-back strikeouts or something in between. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Yanier Diaz. And if there was ever a time that we needed a double play or a strikeout, it's fucking right now. Come on. We don't want to give up, this 2-0 lead that we just got. I mean, we had the 3-0 lead in the first. We gave up 3 and have it tied. Come on, Castillo. 3-2 pitch, just gets a piece. And it ends up going towards first base and foul. Count still full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Yanier Diaz. 3-2 pitch, and that ends up being a walk. Runner comes home from third, and that is 2-1 Seattle. And hopefully this will be the only run that's scored. Again, we don't want to get into a habit here of walking a guy, hitting a guy, because eventually once you start hitting guys and walking guys, then all of a sudden that big home run, is going to happen. And we don't want a grand salami against us. Challenge is called there, and it looks like the Mariners are going to win it. Nice. I like that. And again, Cal with a great frame job right there. So take that run off the board. We thought it was going to be automatic coming in. Good challenge by Cal Raleigh, who's been kind of hit or miss, with being a catcher and being in the box. That was one of the best ones of the year, 2 away. Next up is Taylor Trammell, hard hit ball, deep center field. Julio is there. Randy, where's your defense? Christ. Nowhere even near that. How many runs are going to come home now? Looks like 1, 2, and now 3, just like last night. After we have a 3-0 lead in the first inning, you get the ball hit to Randy, and it's a nightmare. And he ends up getting a double, scoring 3, Taylor Trammell. Unbelievable. Julio was running from center field. What the hell was Randy doing? Usually he's pretty good with pop-ups, but out of position again. Oh, man, I'm getting sick and tired of Randy in left field. I mean, I really appreciate the big, upper deck blast, when we were tied 3-3, but it shows you how many runs Randy gives up on the daily, and thankfully the bats made up for it. It's getting a little ridiculous here. I mean, it can't just be 1, it can't be 2. It always has to be 3 or more. Unbelievable. Next up is Jeremy Pena. And I guess that lead was short-lived, just like yesterday. 3-0 lead in the first. They scored 3 in the second, making it a 3-3 tie. And now we're looking up at the scoreboard, down by a run. Still think that we can win this game, no doubt about that. But very disappointing effort by Randy in left field. 0-1 pitch, foul behind the plate by Jeremy Pena. No balls and 2 strikes by Luis Castillo. And it's one thing, for him to do it during ground balls. But if he's going to do it with ground balls and pop-ups, I mean, this is a nightmare. And it looked like, he should have been able to get that ball. 0-2 pitch, hard hit ball, deep left field. Randy is hustling, and he should have done that on the previous play and ended up getting that out. But a little too late, Randy. And now we're down 3-2. And it shows like how important defense is in left field, right field, and we don't got to worry about the no-fly zone in center field because Julio Rodriguez is one of the best center fielder defenders and overall players in center field in the game. But again, depending on if it's Luke Raley or Dominic Canzone, or Victor Robles in right, sometimes there's issues there. I think Victor is probably the best defensive guy. He's injured. So now we have to kind of platoon a few guys, depending if it's left-handed or right-handed pitching. And again, Luke Raley has been getting better, but is a little shaky. But golly, Randy Arozarena, you better end up hitting a home run like you did yesterday to make up for that debacle, because that's going to be the only way Mariner fans are going to forgive you, is if you end up getting a solo dinger, a 2-run blast, a 3-run jack, or a grand salami to make up for that poor defense. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning, and let's tie this game up or retake the lead. Next up in the 6th hole, right fielder, Luke Raley. We could really use a nuke from Luke. Batting second in the 7th hole, second baseman, Cole Young. He's been the best overall offense and defensive player so far to start the year. Second best hitter to Brendan Donovan and the best defender on the team by a long mile. And batting third in the 8th hole, DHing, it's the Italian Stallion. He's overdue for a home run, Dominic Canzone. Always drama when we play this Houston Astro team, or anybody in the American League West for that matter. Rangers, Astros, Athletics, Angels, it's never easy for us. Gained 3 more subs since the last commercial break. 98 subs now to get to 23,800. First pitch from Lance McCullers Jr. to Luke Raley. Takes a strike looking high and away. 1 count. Come on, Luke. 0-1 pitch. And Raley pops that one up into foul territory. And it goes into the second row. Out of play, thank God. Change up 83 miles an hour by Lance McCullers Jr. No balls and 2 strikes to Luke Raley. So Eugenio Suarez went back to the Reds, where he has already played there once. And obviously, Jorge Polanco decided to go to the Mets because his dad lives in New York and wanted to be closer to him. So, but again, I would, Brandon Donovan is doing what Polo did at the beginning of the year, and they're both playing great. And I know Polo got his first home run for the Mets earlier today, which I watched, and I wish him the utmost success with his new team. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Luke Raley, and that is 1 away. Same thing with Gino. Good vibes only. We love guys, that play well for us. And, and also if they end up being great human beings on and off the field. Good vibes only. Next up in the bottom of the second, Astros 3, Mariners 2, Cole Young. Let's go, Cole. First pitch to Cole Young, sweeper outside, but called strike. 82 miles an hour by Lance McCullers Jr. Bottom of the second inning, 3-2 Astros. Oh, 1 pitch, high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cole Young. Come on, Cole. 1-1 pitch from McCullers Jr. Hard hit ball. Popped up into shallow right field. It will stay in play. Back to the dirt. And Cam Smith is there, and that is 2 away. Down goes Cole Young. Next up in the 8 hole, the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. Lance McCullers Jr. on the mound. Dominic Canzone in the box. First pitch from McCullers Jr. to Canzone, high and away. Cutter 89 miles an hour, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle with the cutter. 88 miles an hour there by Lance McCullers Jr. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 2 outs. Bottom of the second inning, 3-2 Astros. 1-1 pitch, low and away. Change up missing by an inch or 2. 85 miles an hour, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. 2-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. Beautiful sinker there by Lance McCullers Jr. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. 2-2 pitch. Hard hit ball towards first base. No tap on the bag, and that is out number 3. End of the second inning, 3-2 Astros. Let's see who's up next here for H-Town here in the top of the third inning. Next up for the Stros, in the 2-hole, 0 for 1, DHing Yordan Alvarez, who had a big 3-run blast on Cole Wilcox late in the matchup last night. Batting second in the 3-hole, playing first base today, 0 for 1 with a K, Isaac Paredes. And batting third in the 4-hole today, playing second base, who DH'd last night, 1 for 1, Jose Altuve. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. All right, we're at 76 likes with 169 in the room. 24 out of 169. That'll get us to 100. Let's get it, baby. And we're at 15 on the dono train. Shout out to Vapor and Bash with an early 5er and a 10er. Appreciate the 2 of you. And we'll see if we can keep that dono train going. We're at 23,702 subs. 98 to go. We gained another one since the commercial break. Thank you so much. 97 to go to get to 23,800, and we've gained already over 300 plus since the beginning of the season. Thank you so much for all the OGs as well as the newbies here on the Northwest Sports Fanatics. And hopefully that will be all the runs that Castillo gives up, because we can't afford for him to give up any more. 3 is the max for a starting pitcher. You give up more than that, you're putting a lot of pressure, on the team hitting wise, even though, you should be able to get as close to 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. That's kind of the magic number. Normally for the Mariners, if we get to 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits, usually that puts us in pretty good position. But since we were, the worst hitting team in the big leagues, obviously up to this run, not counting yesterday, it makes it a little tough to even get to 3 at that point. But again, I like, what we've been able to do so far besides Randy's defense and left, and hopefully we can find a way. And I believe we can. 1-1 pitch, Fouled off there by Yordan Alvarez, low and away. Change up. 3 changeups in a row there by La Piedra, Luis Castillo. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 3rd inning, 3-2 Astros. And again, kind of a mirrored outcome like yesterday. We end up getting 3 runs in the first, and then Hancock gives up 3 runs in the second. So we weren't really able to celebrate our early lead. 1-2 pitch. That's deep. And that is going back, gone. Unbelievable. Luis Castillo giving up a home run to Yordan Alvarez. You got to be very careful on how you pitch to him. 3-run blast last night on Cole Wilcox, and he does it again. We got to start walking him. If it's going to be like this, and he's going to be locked in, we can treat him like Judge and Ohtani and, send him to first. Better than a home run. 4-2 Astros. Come on, Castillo. You got to be better. And I know the hits will come, but again, right now, Castillo and Randy putting us in a hole. Ay. Luckily, we're still in the 3rd inning, so we got plenty of time to come back. But the pitching needs to be better. Next up is Isaac Paredes. First pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside with that sinker, 93 miles an hour. 0-1 count. And that's kind of an issue also having Luke Raley in right field. His timing isn't usually good in robbing home runs. Can he do it? Yeah, he can do it once in a while. But obviously even a guy like Ref Snyder, which I don't like a whole lot, he has timing down a little bit better and has robbed a home run. And Victor Robles is probably our best option in right field, but unfortunately he is hurt. Defense is so important there in left and right field. We have liabilities in both of those positions, and maybe Lazaro Montes in the future will be our future right fielder, but we can't worry about that today. 4-2 Astros, top of the 3rd. Luis Castillo on the mound to the thorn in our side for ages, Jose Altuve. He's already 1 for 1. Let's keep it that way. First pitch, fouls it off himself. 0-1 count. Chad with the tour. Appreciate you. Come on, Castillo. 3 was the max, and you gave up that home run. But I guess if we're going to be positive, little slow dribbler by Altuve, Cole Young, throw to Naylor, and that is 2 away. So again, after getting that big RBI, to kind of match what we did in the 2nd inning, I guess the bright spot is that Yordan didn't hit another 3-run bomb. So at least we're only down 2 rather than being down, like, for example, 4 at this point. So, any type of home run hurts after you give up a big RBI. Taylor Trammell, obviously, with a 3-run RBI double, that was not ideal. But again, same kind of thing happened yesterday on Hancock in the 2nd inning as well. First pitch to Carlos Correa, big swing and a miss. Slider 84 miles an hour right down the middle, 0-1 count. We got plenty of time. Our pitching overall has been pretty damn good. Our bullpen is still one of the best in the game. And again, if we're able to hit against this team that can't really pitch, it's a little different scenario compared to when we were playing, the Guardians and the Yankees and the Rangers, as well as the Angels. So I still think that we have a very good chance of winning this. We might have to fight and scratch and claw and, take it all the way to extras or, unless we can get caught up. But again, remember, all it takes is one pitcher to have a meltdown, in a half inning, and you can score a few runs. So, and we put up 9 yesterday. So, I don't know if we'll be able to do that again today, but, I still think that we have a very good chance to get to 5 runs plus today. 0-2 pitch. And that's fouled off towards third base by Carlos Correa. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the 3rd inning, 4-2 Astros. And baseball's hard, It's not like any of us could do what these guys do. Everyone can be critical and, talk shit about this and that, but at the end of the day, these guys are playing a sport that's one of the hardest to do. Same thing with NHL professional players, with hockey. It's just insane on how good you have to be to play this sport professionally. 0-2 pitch, and it just goes over Cole Young's head. And Carlos Correa, just like Jose Altuve, a thorn in our side, and another base knock there for Carlos Correa. Next up in the 6 hole, left fielder Joey Loperfido. Got to get out of this inning, and hopefully we'll be able to get a few double plays. But obviously Castillo is not on, and again, we're going to just have to do our very best to kind of keep it close. First pitch to Loperfido, crushes it towards first base. Holy hell! Oh no! Get it, Rayleigh! And now we got runners at second and third, and a stand-up double there by Joey Loperfido. And again, if we have the ability to take out Castillo now, I would. But obviously, with the rotation and what we have, he doesn't have it. And again, if we keep him in, for 6 innings and then pull him when the pitch count is there, they might have 10 runs at that point. So we better get extremely lucky with some double plays. And, it doesn't look like he's going to get very many strikeouts here today. And the Astro players are all over La Piedra here today. First pitch to Cam Smith, takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. And if you look at Castillo's numbers, when we first got him in 2022, they've been kind of going on a downward trajectory. He's very hit or miss. And, he used to be our 1, but he clearly is the 5. And again, with other guys that are, starting to gain a little bit of momentum like Ryan Sloan and Cade Anderson in the farm, at some point, it's going to be Brian Wu, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, and probably Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan with Bryce Miller in the mix. And, Castillo will be on that way out at some point. But come on, my guy. Keep us in this game. Very shaky here in the top of the 3rd inning. 0-2 pitch to Cam Smith. High and away. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. La Piedra. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at second and third and 2 outs. We got to keep them at 4. We can't get them to go to 5 or 6 or 7. It's just too early in the game. It's putting too much pressure on the hitters here. 1-2 pitch. Hard hit ball into right field, out of play. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour there by Luis Castillo. Started off with a great first inning, but it's been all downhill from there. And in the box, 1 for 1 with a run, right fielder Cam Smith. 1-2 pitch, low and away. Slider 84 miles an hour there by Castillo. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cam Smith. We can't give up another RBI. We definitely can't give up another 3-run blast like Jordan did yesterday. We have to keep it in range. And then the hitters on our end should be able to catch up to the Astros in this game. But if we end up getting down by 5 or 6 runs early, it might be night. 2-2 pitch, fouled off towards third base. And none of these pitches are fooling any of the hitters for the Astros. Not whatsoever. They are all over Luis Castillo here today. He's already had 69 pitches, and we're only in the 3rd fucking inning. So that's kind of telling the whole story right there. I mean, he's lucky to even have 2 Ks right now. But he's given up 4 runs already, and that is not good. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off, out of play. Oh, come on, sports gods. Please, can we just get a punch out, a pop-up, a ground out? Just find a way. Don't hit him. Don't walk him. Don't give up a big RBI or home run here. Come on, Castillo, lock in. 2-2 pitch. Jesus. High and away. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour there by Castillo. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Cam Smith. And this is the kind of the breaking point in the game. Depending on what this next pitch is, could really determine, the outcome of this game moving forward. 3-2 pitch. Popped behind the plate, foul. Another 10-pitch at-bat here for another Astro player. Sinker 95 miles an hour. 3 balls, 2 strikes, runners at second and third, and 2 outs. Top of the 3rd inning, 4-2 Astros. Come on, Castillo. They got nobody warming up yet. 3-2 pitch. Hard hit ball into right field on pitch number 11. Sinker 94 miles an hour. Not fooling anybody on the Astro roster. 3 balls, 2 strikes, runners at second and third, and 2 outs. Come on, Castillo. 3-2 pitch. Fouls it off himself. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour there by La Piedra. Count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at second and third and 2 outs. 4-2 Astro lead after we got off to an early 2-0 lead with a Cal Raleigh 2-run blast. But that was short-lived after bad defense by Randy Arosarena, giving up 3 runs on a 3-run RBI double by Taylor Trammell. And then obviously Yordan Alvarez with a solo dinger. 3-2 pitch, fouled off behind the plate. Oh my gosh, this that is going crazy here. This is going to be approaching the 13th pitch. We've got 12 pitches. This is really where you have to dig deep. Do we want to win this game or not? And again, you know, we already have Castillo and Randy to blame for this 2-run deficit. And a hard hit ball up the middle, and that's going to score 1, possibly 2, and they both come home. And just like that, 6-2 Astros pull him. Jesus Christ. Should have already probably pulled him, you know, because you could already tell that he lost it. You know, once he was already at 6 hits, I was like, you know, this is not good. And again, and where's the awareness, you know, by him to at least try to catch that ball? I mean, yeah, it was a line drive, but didn't even put his hand up. I mean, I don't want him to get hit in the head or anything, but you know, there's the good La Piedra and the bad, and we're definitely seeing the worst end of it here today. Terrible version of Luis Castillo here tonight. And again, if we don't pull him here, I mean, again, eventually that cheap home run is going to happen. We're already down 6-2, and they're thinking, oh, we need to keep him in because of pitch count, and we need to, you know, work our guys in the bullpen. But the only problem is the longer that you keep him in and he keeps fucking up, and eventually you're going to get that cheap 2-run home run, and then all of a sudden we're going to look up at the scoreboard and we're going to be down 8-2, you know, in the 3rd inning. And the chances of us coming back from an 8-2 deficit, I don't want to say it's slim to none, but it'll be very tough. I mean, even right now, being down by 4, we've got to pray that we have a meltdown or 2 by a few Astro pitchers like yesterday. Terrible. First pitch to Yadier Diaz. Big swing and a miss with a sinker. 93 miles an hour. 0-1 count. Well, I think there's fight in us. It's just Randy played bad defense out of position, and Castillo has been going, you know, down the middle like he's in his prime in his 20s. You know, if you're going to go right down the middle, they are going to rough you up. Like, no one is fooled when you go down the middle and you don't got enough speed and high heat to go like 100, like triple digits, where it's going to get past the hitter. You know, my best friend just messaged me, said, Castillo, boo. And we're in the same boat here. 0-2 pitch. Low and away. Slider 85 miles an hour off the plate. And again, sometimes Luis is going to be great, you know, and he'll get, you know, 7 to 10 Ks and look amazing, right? But other times you're going to get the bad version of Castillo. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. A little too little, too late. But again, nice punch out finally to get us out of the inning. Don't know really what else to say than that. It was a terrible inning. And again, you know, had a good first inning, gave up 0, but back-to-back innings giving up 3. Hard to win a baseball game when you do that. But now we got to be able to put that in the rearview mirror, and now it's up to our hitters to try to at least get 1 run, you know, in almost every single inning the rest of the way, you know, to give us a chance. But we don't even know what our pitching is going to look like the rest of the way on that side as well. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners, and let's see if we can just chip away. We have to be positive. Next up in the 9-hole, third baseman Leo Rivas. And maybe doing some bunting and small ball. Hopefully we get a couple guys walked, a couple guys get hit by pitches but don't get hurt. We're going to need some help by bad pitching from the Astros if we're going to come up in this game. Batting second, 0-for-0 with a run and a base on ball, shortstop J.P. Crawford. And batting third, 1-for-1 with a 2-run blast in the first inning, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. We may need Cal to hit another one, or possibly a guy like this, Julio Rodriguez. Tridents up, let's go M's. It wouldn't be the first time that we dug ourselves out of a hole, but this is going to be tough. Tridents up, let's go M's. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Gained a couple more subs since the last commercial break. Thank you so much. 95 subs to go to 23,800. And this was what I was mentioning earlier in the broadcast. Last time we did it was in 1999 against the Guardians. All right, we got 90 likes, 10 more to get to 100. If we can get 10 people out of 171, we'll be there. And Vapor with another tenner. Appreciate you. Shout out to Vapor. He is the MVP so far this season. First pitch from Lance McCullers Jr. to Leo Rivas. 1-0 count. And anyone knows in baseball, once the starter goes out, the game resets. And again, no matter how many runs you're down, if you do get a pitcher to shit the bed, whether it's a starter like Houston's yesterday or a couple guys in the pen, all you need is one guy to have a meltdown and you could potentially score 1 to 6 runs, in one single half inning. So we got to keep a little bit of faith here. 1-1 pitch. And especially with the Astros, they're like the worst pitching team in baseball. We're the worst hitting. They're the worst pitching. Something's got to give. We were able to get 9 yesterday. Randy and Castillo put us in an early hole, but that doesn't mean that our hitters can't get the job done here today. 2-1 pitch. Low and at the knees with the cutter, 87 miles an hour. 3 balls and 1 strike to Leo Rivas. But obviously with Lance McCullers Jr., he traditionally plays us well. 10-3 record against the Mariners as of late, under a 3 ERA, 2.95. So again, for Cal to hit a home run off McCullers might be the saving grace for us to at least kind of keep us, I don't want to say close in the game since they put up 6 already, but at least we're going to still have a chance. If the batters can put up 1 or 2 runs within the next 3 innings. And if we can get it down to maybe a 2-run deficit by the 7th or 8th inning, we'll still have a chance. 3-2 pitch. Hard hit ball towards third base and foul. But that's also assuming that the Astros don't score any more runs. And depending on who we bring in, that may not be possible. If we bring in, Gabe Spire, Jose Ferrer, Cooper Criswell, Casey Legumina, things could definitely hit the wall. And really fast. 3-2 pitch. Popped up. And out of play. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 6-2 Astros. Three-two pitch from McCullers Jr. And that is strike 3 looking. Down goes Leo Rivas, and that is 1 away. We got to be able to play some small ball. We got to be able to bunt. Hopefully we'll be able to get hit by a pitch and not get hurt. Hopefully we'll be able to get a stolen bag or 2. Hopefully we'll be able to get a hit and run situation. And hopefully, we'll be able to get another home run or 2. And hopefully it's not just a solo dinger. At this point, we're going to need a 2-run blast like Cal did, and preferably a 3-run jack or a grand salami to get back in this game. And it could happen. First pitch to J.P. Crawford is low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Let him know, Vapor. 1-0 pitch. High and away. Sinker, 91 miles an hour there by Lance McCullers Jr. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. I actually listened to 120 beats today. I went through his whole library and just with some of the newer stuff that he's put out within the last few months. I'm his biggest fan. And again, it's just great to be able to see people that have dreams and goals and have talent to do what he does. 2-1 pitch. Takes a strike right down the middle. Sinker, 90 miles an hour there by Lance McCullers Jr. 2 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. Bottom of the 3rd, nobody on with 1 out. Astros up 6-2 with poor defense by Randy in left field. That's kind of a usual story every day. And Castillo, obviously, not good here this Saturday evening. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Good eye there by J.P. Crawford. Sweeper, off speed, 82 miles an hour, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. 3-2 pitch, and he pops it up into foul territory. Yanier Diaz is there, the catcher, and that is 2 away. Next up, 1-for-1 with a run, 2 RBIs, and a 2-run blast early in the first inning to give us an early 2-0 lead, even though that was short-lived. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And again, this might be one of those games where we need that electricity from Cal, but not only him, we might need Julio to do his job as well. Trident's up. Let's go M's. First pitch is fouled off with the cutter, 88 miles an hour, low and away, 0-1 count. Come on, big dumper. Lance McCullers Jr. on the mound. Cal Raleigh, a big dumper in the box. 0-1 pitch. Fouled off into left field, out of play. Great souvenir for that fan out there. If you go to a Mariner game there at T-Mobile, you're probably trying to get a Cal Raleigh or Julio Rodriguez foul ball. Those are going to be the most coveted to add to your collection unless you end up getting a home run ball from one of those two players. 0-2 pitch. High and away. Four-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour there by Lance McCullers Jr. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. I haven't got a Cal Raleigh ball yet, but that's next on the list. But I have been extremely lucky. I've been to like 9 games, and I've gotten 3 balls already. So 1-2 pitch. Low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And I got some pretty good names, too. I got Kike Hernandez from the Dodgers when I went with my dad. Then I ended up getting a Julio Rodriguez rookie foul ball when we played Bobby Witt Jr. in his rookie season in 2022, as that one is fouled off by Cal Raleigh. And then on the channel, I told everyone I was going to get an Aaron Judge ball, a few weeks after getting the Julio ball, and people thought I was crazy, and I must have talked it into the universe because I did. And those are the 3 balls that I've gotten. Aaron Judge, which is kind of crazy to me, and that was the year that he broke the record with 62 home runs. Cal Raleigh is next on the list, but Kike Hernandez, Julio Rodriguez, Aaron Judge, that's a pretty good trio for baseballs, if you ask me. 2-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. I would like to get a Cal foul ball, obviously, for my best friend Justin. He's been to like 50 plus games, Dodgers and Mariners, and he's never gotten close to getting a ball besides that day that he sat next to me when I got the Julio ball. 3-2 pitch, hit into shallow left field, and that is out number 3. End of the 3rd inning, 6-2 Astros. But I'll tell you what, once you end up getting a ball, whether it ends up being a home run ball or a foul ball, it changes you. It does something to your baseball DNA moving forward. End of the 3rd inning, 6-2 Houston. Let's see who's up next here for the Astros. Next up for the Astros, 1-for-1 with a double that turned into 3 RBIs, center fielder Taylor Trammell. Batting second, leadoff hitter, shortstop 0-for-2, Jeremy Pena. And batting third, 1-for-2 with a run and an RBI, a home run today, and a home run yesterday. At some point, we just need to intentionally walk him. Again, especially if he's already hit 2 home runs, 1 in each day. Because if we keep pitching him right down the middle with Logan Gilbert and George Kirby, he might get a home run in every single game in this series. End of the 3rd inning, 6-2 Houston. Gained another sub since the last commercial break. All right, we're at 102 likes. $98 to $200. And we'll see if we can find a way to crawl back into this game. 102 likes, 98 to $200. First pitch from Luis Castillo to Taylor Trammell, the former Mariner. And it seems like former Mariners, usually have our number when they end up playing us. Little slow dribbler on the 0-1 pitch. And an infield base hit there by Taylor Trammell. And again, it's always like these obscure guys. It's not necessarily always Altuve or Correa or Alvarez, even though they are a thorn in the Mariners' side. But again, if you're going to get beat, by a 9-hole hitter, not to say that Trammell is a bad player, but, and he ends up giving, them a double to bring in 3, hard to be able to, compete with that. First pitch to Jeremy Pena, fouls it off, 0-1 count. Casey Legomina is warming up. Holy hell, that's not good. Castillo on the mound, Jeremy Pena in the box. And we know Legomina is one of the worst that we have in the pen with Cole Wilcox, as well as Cooper Criswell, the former Red Sox. And then obviously we know Gabe Spire is kind of hit or miss. So this is going to be very, very challenging unless the bats really start to heat up. And I still think that, we could get above 5 runs today. It's just who's going to step up for the Seattle Mariners. 1-1 pitch and a line drive. Julio does not dive. And now we got runners at first and second here for the Houston Astros. Pull Castillo already. What are we doing? I get it. You want to be able to stretch him as long as you can. But obviously he was already off in the 3rd inning. And again, at this point, he's just giving up hit after hit, walk after walk, base hit, base knock here, base knock there. He definitely doesn't have it. And, at this point, if you're not careful and you keep playing him, we're going to end up giving up a 3-run jack or a grand salami, and then we're not going to come back. He's at 85 pitches. So again, this is, Dan Wilson trying to stretch the most out of him. But again, if he's not able to get outs, what are we doing? First pitch to Yordan Alvarez, fouls it off, 0-1 count. And if he pitches it right down the middle, Alvarez is going to homer again. And it's going to be 9-2. And at that point, it's probably over, if I'm being real. Yes, we could still probably get to 5 or 6. But if they're at 9 and then we bring in Casey Legomina, holy hell, they might score 12 runs or more at that point. So just got to be realistic with it. But hopefully we can find a way to get a strikeout or a double play and a strikeout. But hard to do that when your starting pitcher is completely off today. 1-1 pitch. Hard hit ball there by Yordan Alvarez. And luckily, this is going to stay in play all the way into the dirt. And both runners advance, and that is 1 away. Next up in the 3-hole, first baseman Isaac Paredes. On deck in the 4-hole, Jose Altuve. And again, almost every player that played yesterday is playing a new position today. And normally I don't see that. But again, when you end up losing a game to your rival, 9-6 when it was 9-3, sometimes as a manager, you got to switch things up. And again, they not only move the batting order around, but a lot of the guys are playing a new position from yesterday. Almost everybody, except for Cam Smith, as well as having a couple new guys coming into the lineup with Diaz and Trammell. So, it definitely worked for them. And unfortunately, we got the bad Castillo today. First pitch to Paredes, takes a strike looking with the slider. Right down the middle, 84 miles an hour by Castillo, 0-1 count. You also have to give credit to the Astros. Sometimes our pitching is going to be good, but it's not like Castillo is a 1. He's our 5. And honestly, I haven't really trusted him in the last few years. Every once in a while, he'll get 7 to 10 Ks, but, he's not the same player as he was when we got him in 2022. He's been progressively kind of going on a downward slope. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss there by Paredes. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at second and third and 1 out. Top of the 4th inning, 6-2 Astros. And then we just got to pray when Casey Legomina comes in that he doesn't do what Castillo, has done up to this point, because we can't afford for both pitchers to give up 6 runs apiece. Can't come back from that. 1-2 pitch, ground ball, fucking A. And that goes past J.P. Crawford, and another run scores. And again, this is bad managing by Dan Wilson. Again, you're just trying to stretch a guy out, but if he has not had it since the 3rd inning, what are you doing? I mean, do you want to actually try to win this game? Or are you trying to put it so far ahead that it's going to be really tough for us to come back? Fuck the pitch count. You know, when a guy has it, you keep him in. When a guy doesn't have it, you take him out. What, you just wanted him to get to 90 plus pitches? So now we're down by 5 instead of 4? Idiot. I mean, you got to have better awareness. You know, it's like, you know, certain people you know in your life, you know, they have awareness. Like when you go to a party and you can kind of read the room. Dan Wilson sometimes does not know how to read the room. You got to be able to read your pitcher. And it sometimes is not about fucking pitch count, you know? 7 runs, 10 hits. Jesus Christ. All right, let's go over his final line. 3.1 innings pitched, 10 hits, 7 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks, 91 pitches, 68 strikes, ERA of 6.92. And he came into the game with a 2.79 ERA. So that's on Dan Wilson. You know, when you know your player is bleeding out, you know, you put a bandage on him and you take him out and you help him. You don't just let him bleed out and just, you know, just let him, you know, just sit there and then continue to bleed out, you know, inning after inning. So, but again, now, you know, bringing in Casey Legomina, hopefully, you know, we can get a nice double play, you know, from Legomina, slow dribbler up the middle by Jose Altuve, toe tap on the bag, throw to first, and then we can still be down by 5. And then we have to really try to be able to get 1 to 2 runs, you know, the rest of the way. Every inning, we got to try to chip away. But I will say this isn't the first time that we haven't come back against a team like the Astros down by 5 halfway through the game. You know, we've done it before and we can do it again, even though it looks a little bleak at the moment. And especially with Legomina coming in. But, you know, again, we don't expect any strikeouts, you know, out of Legomina. But if he can end up getting some cheap pitches, you know, that are a little wild that they chase, and then we end up getting a cheap pop-up, or we get this double play that we desperately need right now, and then we can put up 1 or 2 runs within the next 2 innings, and then make it 7-4, and just kind of put us in, you know, somewhat range to keep it closer, you know, and then if we can end up being only down by 2 by the 8th inning, we'll have a shot. But that's a lot of big what-ifs. First pitch is fouled off there by Jose Altuve. Sinker, 93 miles an hour there by Casey Legomina, 0-1 count. Vapor with a 5er. Appreciate you. But, you know, no matter if it's a win or a loss, it's, you know, Trident's up forever. Give me that double play. 0-1 pitch. Oh, here it is. Slow dribbler. Throw to second. Get that throw. Got him. We got to celebrate the little victories, you know. And again, when you watch baseball, as long as some of us, you know, since the 70s or the 80s, you know, again, it's not just like wishing, you know, that you get the double play. Sometimes you got to see what they have. Is it runners at first and third, so that's a perfect setup for a dribbler up the middle? Or is it first and second? Or is it just a guy at first and then that double play up the middle? So, you know, there's going to be certain situations, you know, where it's going to be easier to get the double play, you know, with runners at first and third or runners at just first rather than first and second or bases loaded. And I guess the sports gods, maybe they feel sorry for us, but thankfully we get our first double play. We know Casey Legomina is very shaky, but at least he gets a little bit of help from the defense behind him. Castillo and Randy put us in this bad position, but all we can do now is, you know, look forward. We can't look in the rearview mirror, and now we just have to chip away and try to get 1 or 2 runs, you know, in these next few innings, and hopefully we can be down by 2 or less by the 8th. And if we're able to do that, and if it's like 7-5, you know, and they don't score anymore, and it's 7-5 by the 8th, you know, and we'll have a very small chance, but a chance to try to compete late. Let's see who's up next for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 4th. And sometimes this is just how it goes. You know, sometimes pitching is great. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes defense is great. Sometimes it's not. And sometimes the hitting is fantastic. And sometimes it just plain stinks. Next up for the Mariners in the 3-hole, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And if there was ever a time that we needed a home run, it's fucking right now. Trident's up. Let's go, Julio. Batting second in the 4-hole, it's Nails first baseman Josh Naylor. And batting third in the 5-hole, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Now, Randy did end up giving up that big play that got 3 runs yesterday, but what did he do in the 5th inning? He got a 2-run blast in the upper deck to kind of get us the lead when it was 3-3 to 5-3. And again, that might be the only way that we can kind of creep back into this game, is maybe if Randy can hit another big home run. And again, solo dingers are great, but when you're down 5, you're going to need a little bit of luck by getting a 2-run jack or a 3-run bomb. But hopefully we can get at least 2 more home runs before this game is over. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle with the sweeper. 81 miles an hour there by Lance McCullers Jr. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Trident's up. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Sweeper, 82 miles an hour, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. I appreciate that. I put a lot of time and energy and passion into every broadcast that we do. And again, I feel like we do have something special here. 1-2 pitch. Big strike 3. And down goes Julio looking, and that is 1 away. Next up in the 4-hole, first baseman Josh Naylor. We got great fans in the chat. You got great HD 4K photos. You got great music from my boy, Brooks Beats, an up-and-coming big producer here in the Pacific Northwest. You got a little bit of everything here. Little slow dribbler on the first pitch, towards first base, toe tap on the bag, and down goes Naylor, and that is 2 away. We're going to need to work the count. We have to realize that the Astros are a poor pitching team. We got the memo yesterday, and we started to get the memo early today. But again, McCullers is still one of the better pitchers for Houston, but you got to be able to be patient. Wait for those pitches to come to you instead of just swinging, at the first 2 pitches. That might be the only way we get back into this game. Come on, Randy, make up for your mistake. First pitch is a strike, low and away with a sinker, 91 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Brendan Donovan, Cole Young, and Randy Arozarena are the 3 best hitters so far to start the year. And we know other guys are going to start to heat up, like Cal with the home run early today. But how many runs does Randy give up on the daily? Just frightening. Pitch is low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. 1-1 pitch, change up low and at the knees again, 85 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. 2-1 pitch. Pitch is inside. Called strike, which probably should have been a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. And down goes Randy, and that is out number 3. End of the 4th inning, 7-2 Astros. And I know we're down by 5 runs and it looks horrible and whatnot, but again, if you can find a way to get at least a couple runs, a home run or an RBI sequence within the next 2 to 3 innings, it's just about getting close when we're in the 8th and the 9th inning. But again, that's also if we don't give up any more runs at this point. We're already down 5. That's a huge task. Next up, 1 for 2 with 2 runs. Third baseman in the 5-hole, Carlos Correa. Batting second, 1 for 1 with 2 runs and a base on ball, left fielder Joey Loperfido. And batting third, 2 for 2 with a run and 2 RBIs, right fielder Cam Smith. Gained 2 more subs since the last commercial break. Thank you so much. 92 subs to go to get to 23,800. Let's go. All right, we're at 112 likes, 88 to get to 200. Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. It's like you have ESP. You're locked into what I was just thinking. And again, for the Mariners, depending on how long you've been a fan of this team, again, you have to be mentally tough to be a fan of any team in Oregon and Washington. Again, sometimes things are going to be, great, and it's going to feel like Uncle Mo, that momentum is just going to continue to go in our favor like last night, but again, there's going to be, games like this where you have to be mentally tough and just, hang on to that little glimmer of hope, that they have a meltdown and we can catch up. We've done it in the past and we can do it again. First pitch is low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and away again with the sweeper. 2 balls and no strikes to Carlos Correa. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking low away. Sinker, 93 miles an hour there by Casey Legomina. 2 balls and 1 strike to Carlos Correa. Trident's up, let's go M's. 2-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour there by Legomina. That was pretty. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Carlos Correa. 2-2 pitch. And a little dribbler up the middle. And gosh, man, Cole Young and J.P. Crawford just haven't been able, to get close to a ball, when you get those little dribblers up the middle. Unfortunate. And another base knock here for the Astros. Next up in the 6th hole, left fielder Joey Loperfido. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Got to keep battling. Yeah, and obviously, if you're a real Mariner fan, we haven't started off with a record like this in like 15, 20 years. So, and we also had a 20-year drought, until 2022, where Cal Raleigh ended up hitting a home run against the Athletics to get us into the playoffs. So, again, for 20 years, us hardcore fans, had no hope of the playoffs, but we're still watching, game in and game out. So, for maybe the newer fans, that hopped on the wagon, starting in 2022, yeah, things have been great in the last, 4 or 5 years. But, prior to that, it was tough sledding. And again, you just have to be, have that unconditional faith that we're going to get it done. And the roster is obviously much better now than it was, even a few years back. So it's just a matter of time before we get into that right rhythm. 2-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Joey Loperfido. Top of the 5th inning with a runner at first, and we're potentially going to get this first out here, I hope. 2-2 pitch. And takes a strike 3 looking. There we go. Nice punch out there by Legomina, and that is 1 away. Next up, 2 for 2 with a run with 2 RBIs, right fielder Cam Smith. Well, last year we weren't the worst hitting team in baseball, Again, if you're batting 188 as a team, and we're getting closer, hopefully to being able to get over 200. But, it's one thing to have a similar record and starting slow, but when you end up having a bad record and you're the worst hitting team, in baseball, it's hard to win games. But we'll get better as the season goes along. 0-1 pitch. High and away. 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour there by Casey Legomina. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cam Smith. Top of the 5th inning. Runner at first with 1 out. 7-2 Astros. One pitch. And damn it, right in between the gap. It hits the wall. And it's just a big field day here, kind of what happened with us yesterday. And the hits continue to get poured on here. Cam Smith with a double to right, Correa to third. Top of the fifth with runners at second and third now with one out. Next up, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks in the 8-hole, Yanier Diaz. And then on deck in the 9-hole, former Seattle Mariners center fielder Taylor Trammell. And again, we had, Luis Castillo, looked terrible. And then now you got Legomina, who's one of the worst in the pen for us. So you can't expect too much here. Little dribbler, throw to first. And that is 2 away. Good defense there by the Mariners. Next up in the 9-hole, 2 for 2 with a run and 3 RBI, center fielder Taylor Trammell. And hopefully we can keep these runners stranded at second and third. Trident's up. Let's go M's. First pitch is high and away. Takes a strike looking with that four-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour by Casey Legomina, 0-1 count. Top of the fifth inning, runners at second and third with 2 outs. Astros 7, Mariners 2. 0-1 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? And they say he did not. Sweeper, 79 miles an hour, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Taylor Trammell. One pitch. Takes a strike looking down the middle with the sweeper. 79 mile an hour off-speed sweeper. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Taylor Trammell. Come on, Legomina. Dig deep here. And hopefully we'll be able to get a 2-run jack or a 3-run bomb, to kind of cut into this lead, so to speak, and to give us a chance late. 1-2 pitch from Legomina. That's strike 3. There we go. Legomina as our worst guy in the pen with like Cooper Criswell and a few others. Obviously, we know Vargas is injured, so we can't put him in that category. Hasn't really played, this season in 2026. But crazy that Legomina is doing that much better than Castillo. But again, our pitchers sometimes are going to be good, sometimes not. But also sometimes you got to give credit to the other team, and figuring it out. And Houston was one of the best hitting teams, coming in, even though they did get swept by the Rockies coming in, to the matchup against Seattle. We had a 5-game losing streak. They got swept by the Rockies, and they obviously lost 4 in a row. Pitching was terrible for them, but they were one of the best hitting teams with the Dodgers coming in to play Seattle. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 5th, and let's, pray that we can find a way to get at least a run, or 2 in the next inning or 2 to kind of get us closer. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th, 7-2 Astros. Let's see who's up next here for Seattle. Trident's up. Next up, 0 for 1 with a K in the 6-hole, right fielder Luke Raley. Batting second, 0 for 1 in the 7-hole, second baseman Cole Young. And batting third in the 8-hole, it's the Italian Stallion DHing Dominic Canzone. Bottom of the 5th inning, 7-2 Astros. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Gained another sub since the last commercial break. Thank you so much. 91 subs to go to 23,800. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Bottom of the 5th, 7-2 Stros. And we got 2 afternoon games around 1 o'clock tomorrow as well as Monday. So we got Logan Gilbert on the mound tomorrow, George Kirby on Monday. So we still have a very good chance of not only, winning the series, but potentially winning 3 out of 4. But we have to see what happens here tonight. 1-0 pitch, high and away. Back-to-back cutters there from Lance McCullers Jr. 87 miles an hour on both. 2 balls and no strikes to Luke Raley. 2-0 pitch. And a little dribbler up the middle past McCullers. Throw to first. And that is one away. And it feels like Luke Raley and Dominic Canzone's timing were really on for the first couple games against the Guardians and Yankees, and then it's kind of fizzled off. We need them to get back onto their, good timing and being more patient in the box. Down goes Luke Raley with that dribbler up the middle. Next up, second baseman Cole Young. First pitch to Cole Young, big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes to Cole Young. Come on, Cole. 0-2 pitch from McCullers. There we go. That's my boy. And a nice hard hit ball there into right field to Cam Smith. And again, obviously this is a game that we desperately miss, Brandon Donovan, but hopefully he'll be available tomorrow. Nice job by our boy Cole Young. He's really figured it out, and again, started to figure it out a little bit, last year in a limited opportunity, but really has come into his own offensively and defensively. Next up is Dominic Canzone, the Italian stallion. And Canzone with a hit into the gap. Go, Cole! Cole might be able to score here. Go, go, go! He's rounding third. Come home! Come home! And he has to pump the brakes at third. Here we go. Back-to-back hits. There by Cole Young and Dominic Canzone. Have the faith. All we need is a meltdown or two, right? If McCullers has a meltdown and we get a meltdown by one of the bullpen guys, anything is possible. Here we go. Runners at second and third with 1 out. Next up is Leo Rivas. And again, we're due for a 2-run blast, 3-run bomb, or a grand salami at some point, in the next few games. And again, if we could end up getting, a 3-run jack, by Leo Rivas or JP Crawford with a grand salami or a 3-run jack, that puts us right back in the game, with a few innings to go. 7-5, we're back in business. But let's see if we can just take it one step at a time. Even getting an RBI single and making it 7-3, we're going in the right direction. Great job by Cole Young. Great job by the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. First pitch to Leo Rivas, low and away, 1-0 count. Looks like McCullers is starting to lose his control, which typically happens 1 inning before they exit. Sometimes in that 5th inning, pitchers have a meltdown. Can we see a mini meltdown here by McCullers? Starting to look like he's having one. Maybe he'll walk Leo. 1-0 pitch, low and away, 2 balls and no strikes to Leo Rivas. And at this point, don't swing. What's the point? If he can't hit the strike zone, take bases loaded for JP. And maybe we can get a grand salami. We get a grand salami and we down 7-6. We're back in business, baby. 2-0 pitch. Fouls that one off towards first base. Sinker, 91 miles an hour there by Lance McCullers Jr. Lance McCullers Jr. on the mound. Leo Rivas in the box. Come on, Leo. It'd be really great if we can get back-to-back hits. Bottom of the 5th inning, runners at second and third with 1 out. Come on, Leo. 2-1 pitch. Leo, hard hit ball, deep right field, all the way to the wall. Oh my God, just foul. I was waiting for them to call it. Oh my God. Oh man. Foul by maybe 5 feet. 5 feet. Maybe less than 5 feet, maybe like 3 feet. Oh, brutal. Great hit. I mean, if that would have fell down on the line, that would have scored 2, and then 7-4 with only 1 out, we're back in business. And then you end up having JP, Cal, and Julio up next. If we could just get Naylor to be more patient in the box, as well as a few others like Luke Raley, we could really start to get something going here. Now we have an Astro pitcher in the pen now warming up finally. 2-2 pitch. High and inside. Great eye there by Leo Rivas. Cutter, 90 miles an hour. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Take the walk here, Leo. Take the walk. If it's there, take the walk. Don't swing at the garbage. If it's right down the middle, swing if you need to. 3-2 pitch. And that's a walk, baby. Let's go. It's like those people that want to, leave the game prematurely, when we're down 5 runs. You have to understand, it's a tale of two halves, starting pitching and then the bullpen, and again, being down 7-2 after seeing that amazing 9-6 victory where we should have won, 9-3, but they brought in, Cole Wilcox instead of Matt Brash. Jordan hits a 3-run jack, and then Andres Munoz almost blows the game, and luckily we get that hard hit ball to third, and Leo can toe tap on the bag. And there's always going to be drama, when we play the Astros and the Rangers and the Athletics and the Angels. You just have to be patient and have faith. It's not always, going to go our way, but you don't give up until the game is over. You don't give up at all. You just got to keep it moving. Now we got bases loaded for JP Crawford. Let's go. Let's go, JP. First pitch, right down the middle for a strike to Crawford. 0-1 count. Well, everyone knows that Dan Wilson isn't the best manager. I mean, we know Scott Service would do the same type of, things. Managers that don't make adjustments and they keep guys in too long. 0-1 pitch, high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to JP Crawford. And again, it's up to the players to do their job, but, it would be nice to have someone a little bit more capable at manager, but, we won't be able to figure that out until the future. 1-1 pitch, fouls it off himself. Hopefully JP's okay. He's limping here. Cutter 90 miles an hour by Lance McCullers Jr. Bottom of the 5th, bases loaded with 1 out. I mean, and even if we can get, obviously best case scenario, he hits a grand slam, or we end up getting 3 or 4 runs. But even if we only get 1 or 2 runs and we leave 1 or 2 stranded, at least we're getting something, and again, we have to try to get a minimum of 1 run, but hopefully a little bit more. One-two pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. Come on, JP. Paisley is at my door. Lay down. Lay down. Good girl. Lay down. Good girl. 2-2 pitch. JP Crawford hits it into the gap. Let's go. 1 run comes home. Will the 2nd run come home as well? Let's go. Let's go. Cole Young. Bang. Dominic Canzone as well. 7-4. We're back in business. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Never give up. Let's go. That's exactly what we needed. And it's pretty rare, when you think about it, for us to even get back-to-back hits. And great job. Great job there by Cole Young. Great job by Dominic Canzone. And then obviously Leo Rivas doing his thing. And then JP Crawford. JP Crawford doing what we need to do. And again, we're able to get Lance McCullers Jr. out of the game. And now, after JP with that big RBI, bringing home Cole Young and Dominic Canzone, right? After it looked like, the game is over, Luis Castillo, Budios, and then you bring in Casey Legomina, one of the worst guys in the pen. But with all that being said, now we got the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, in the box with runners at 1st and 3rd with 1 out. And with 1 swing, the game could be tied. Never give up on the Seattle Mariners. Let's go. Trident's up. You have to be mentally strong and understand that baseball is 9 innings, sometimes extra, and there's plenty of time to come back. Nice job, Seattle. And I know my best friend and his dad are screaming their heads off there, right off first base. They got some really good seats. They're only maybe 10, 12, 15 rows back. So, usually when we go to games, we go right off first base. I usually go off first base or third base, depending on who I go with, because it gives you the best chance to get a foul ball if you're about 15 to 20 rows back. If you're too close, you might end up having a player flip one to a kid, and you're not going to get one. And usually foul balls aren't going to be within the first 5 rows. The seat will be great, but if you want to be able to actually get a souvenir, if you're not getting a bobblehead or, something of that nature, or like a hat as far as a giveaway, there's a certain type of area that you sit at where you have a better chance of getting a ball. And thankfully, we've been able to get a few so far, but Mariners grinding it out. Cal Raleigh with a 2-run blast early and getting a number of hits here. Crawford single to center, Canzone and Young score, Rivas to second. And now we got the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And now he's batting from the right side. And we know that he can hit homers from the left and the right. Let's go, big dumper. Bottom of the 5th inning. Runners on the corners at first and third with 1 out. Stephen Okert comes into the game here for Houston. And I mean, I would have been okay with this if this would have even happened later. But now it happened so early, you know. I mean, who knows? Maybe this is a game where we come back and we win 9-8 or something of that, you know, matter. And never lose faith. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking low, but in the zone. 4-seam fastball, 89 miles an hour by Stephen Okert. 1 ball and 1 strike to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 90 miles an hour to the big dumper. 2 balls and 1 strike to Cal Raleigh. Two-one pitch. Cal pops it up. Looks like it's going to stay in foul territory. And he dropped it. Yes. Oh, baby. We got a little lucky there. Hell yeah. Mental error by the Astros. We'll take that. Bottom of the 5th inning. Runners at first and third with 1 out. Stephen Okert coming in. Obviously for Lance McCullers Jr., who had a very good record against the Mariners, 10-3 record, you know, not this year, but just like when they play the Mariners, and an ERA of 2.95. Cal was able to get a 2-run jack early. Randy, with poor defense, ended up giving up 3 in the second, and then Castillo gave up 3 in the third, and then 1 in the fourth. And so it was looking pretty slim picking, 7-2, but you have to have faith. It's a long game. And we end up getting on a nice little rally here in the 5th. We've already scored 2 runs, and let's see if we can score 2 or 3 more. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, big dumper. 2-2 pitch. Cal, broken bat. Oh, it's going to stay in play. Into left field. Runner tags up. Go, Leo, go. And Leo scores from third. Here we go. 7-5 Houston. We're back in it, baby. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. And again, if that bat didn't break, you know, maybe it goes a little bit further, but it was deep enough to bring in Leo Rivas. Nice job there by Cal Raleigh. Sack fly to left. Rivas scores 7-5. And again, when you're down 7-2 and you got Castillo and Casey Legomina pitching, you know, I get it. You know, it's easy to overreact and lose faith, you know, but again, if you've been a fan of this team for a long time, anything can happen. And we know that pitching has been very shaky for Houston, and we have to take advantage, and we have. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. This would be a great time for a 2-run blast to tie the game up, don't you think? 1-0 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. I mean, that would be best case scenario. We don't need to get too greedy. We've already gotten, 3 runs here in the 5th. But, you know, if we can squeeze out 1 more big play, that would be great. 1-1 pitch, hard hit ball towards third base, but just foul. Slider, 81 miles an hour there by Stephen Okert. Bottom of the 5th, 7-5 Houston. Runner at first with 2 outs. And a 1 ball, 2 strike count with 2 outs from Okert to Julio Rodriguez. Yeah, I do all the games. I mean, I had to miss, Easter because I wasn't been able to get back in time. But usually I'm only going to miss like a game or 2. And the only other game I'm going to miss is going to be the 4th of July because I'm going to be at T-Mobile with my best friend Justin to watch the Blue Jays. So we usually, somewhere between 155 to 160 games that I'll do on the channel. And then, an 162 game season. And then I do playoffs as well. 1-2 pitch. Julio, deep ball. It's going, and it is gone. Let's go. You ask for a Julio Rodriguez home run, you get it, baby. And the ESP is on point today, baby. Not only the photo, but the prediction. 7-7 Astros and Mariners. We got the momentum. We got the electricity. We are back, baby. Let's go. Down 7-2. We score 5 in the 5th. Let's go. Tridents up. Let's go, M's. Never give up on the Seattle Mariners. Let's go. Let's go. And again, I don't have Trident photos for anybody, in the lineup. And again, at the beginning of the broadcast, we said, hey, this might be a game where we need Cal and Julio to homer, and we got that wish. Naylor pops up again on the first pitch. Can someone talk to Josh Naylor to understand if you want to help this team win, you can't swing at the fucking first pitch every single fucking at-bat this year. Can you get to pitch 4, pitch 5, hell, even pitch 2? I mean, there's so many outs that Josh Naylor, he's not giving himself a chance. Give yourself a chance, my guy. And again, we end up getting 5 runs in the 5th. We get Lance McCullers Jr. out of the game. We bring in Stephen O'Kurt. We give him the business. Even Paisley is happy. All right, I'm going to go get her a snack, as you can see her there on the bottom of the screen. She's excited. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. I'll be right back. Unbelievable inning. Let's go. Vapor with another 20, baby. Let's get it. And again, we got pretty good ESP on the channel. We'll predict some double plays. We'll predict some home runs. We'll have some foreshadowing with some photos. And again, no matter how bad, things look, never lose faith. And again, we've proven it, year in and year out, no matter how bad things look, 9 times out of 10, when you're down 5 runs, yeah, you lose, but not today. And now we're back in it, baby. Let's go. Looks like we gained another sub since the last commercial break. Now we're 90 subs away from 23,800. But again, we do a lot of foreshadowing and a lot of ESP on this channel, and again, a lot of us have been fans of this team since the 70s and the 80s, and again, we got a good pulse on this team. We're at 127 likes. $73 to $200. Jose Ferrer comes in for the Mariners. First pitch is high and away to Allen, 1-0 count. Trident's up, baby. Let's go. 1-0 pitch, high and away. Sinker, 94 miles an hour by Jose Ferrer. 2 balls and no strikes from Ferrer to Allen. 2-0 pitch in there for a strike. Sinker, 95 miles an hour there by Jose Ferrer. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 6th inning, 7-7. We're tied up. My best friend is there with his dad. They ended up seeing the best game of the year when we won 9-6. And I really want, them to be able to win both games. So that way, when they come home tomorrow, they'll have that amazing memory. And even with that being said, to score 5 runs when you're down 7-2 with Castillo shitting the bed, Randy shitting the bed with his shit defense in left, and then Legomina coming in. Fantastic performance by the Mariners offensively. Pitch popped up, and Rayleigh is there. Down goes Allen, and that is 1 away. Let's go, baby. You ask and you shall receive. It's kind of a weird thing, with the sports gods. Sometimes you just got to say it out loud. And then, sometimes the sports gods will, do you a favor, whether that's a double play, a home run, or a big RBI opportunity, or a big strikeout. Next up is Yordan Alvarez. First pitch right down the middle with a sinker, 95 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Never give up on the team, Michelle. We were down 7-2. You wanted to leave the game and not come back. And then all of a sudden, you go get a snack, look at the scoreboard on your phone. Oh my, 7-7. Never give up. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike swinging low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Yordan Alvarez. 0-2 pitch. And let that be a reminder to you, the next time, when the Mariners are down, 4, 5, 6 runs and it's halfway through the game and it looks like the game is fucking over, you can go back and remember this game specifically, and again, we'll see how the outcome plays out. But again, 5 runs in the 5th inning, down 7-2, now 7-7. Anything is possible. 1-2 pitch, fouled off there with the sinker by Yordan Alvarez. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Ferrera's been pretty good. I wouldn't say he's been great, but he's got a chance to be one of the top 3 guys in the pen with Bizzardo and Brash. Better than Spire. And again, there's a few guys, that have been shaky in the pen, but I think Ferrer, which, he does have some issues being a little wild, like Gabe Spire for those 2 lefties. But again, obviously we got Ferrer in the Harry Ford trade. But again, he has a chance, depending on how he pitches this season in the pen, he's got a chance to be the number 3 guy with Bizzardo and Brash. And, again, obviously Gabe Spire used to be in that realm. But I think, Ferrer's got a chance to kind of leapfrog Gabe Spire. And that would be pretty big for us. But again, it's just about consistency. It's not about just top end speed. It's about location. 2-2 pitch to Alvarez. Hard hit ball into left field, carrying foul. Slider 89 miles an hour there by Jose Ferrer. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the 6th inning, 7-7 Astros and Mariners. Two pitch. Popped up into shallow left field. Run, Randy. Jesus Christ, Randy. What kind of effort is that? It's like, he's like not willing to dive for a ball, just so nonchalant, like it's a fucking spring training game. Always out of position, terrible at ground balls, and sometimes terrible apparently in pop-ups. So I thought that would be the one thing that he actually could do. What's the effort? I mean, the ball was right in front of you. You're telling me like the ball that's 1 foot in front of you and you're just going to let it bounce in front of you? Have some goddamn heart, Randy. Golly, I can't wait for him to be off the team. Again, for every big home run that he gets, like he did yesterday in that upper deck home run, how many runs does he give up on the daily? It's ridiculous. Popped up into right field to Luke Raley. Down he goes. And that is 2 away. I mean, his defense has always been bad. I mean, going back to the time that we got him from the Rays, again, pop-ups are the one thing that we thought that we could trust. And this year, I don't know if we can even really trust him in pop-ups anymore. Ground balls, out of position, lazy, doesn't run. And then when he ends up getting the baseball, it never is a laser, like from Victor or Julio, or even guys like Canzone or Raley. It's just like a little lob. Like he just doesn't care. Like, I'm getting paid millions of dollars. I don't give a shit. I don't like players like that. It's like, I could care less if you get 30, 40 home runs a year. How many runs are you giving up? The same amount or even more. It kind of just evens out. First pitch to Jose Altuve, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, fouls it off towards that first base line. And I mean, I don't go too crazy, on the channel on too many guys. I try to be as positive as possible, but sometimes guys need to be called out, especially if they're non-effort guys that don't fucking hustle, guys that, just kind of go through the motions. Nothing makes me more irritated, about a player that just doesn't seem like they care, on the field. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jose Altuve. And, Victor Robles is hurt. Lazaro Montez is not ready yet. He's in the farm. We know Canzone and Raley are kind of a liability in right field. Robles is probably the best option until we get Lazaro Montez up. But, I mean, I don't know. I just can't wait for the day where we actually have a good left fielder and right fielder that can hit and that can defend. Because Julio is the man. We know that offensively and defensively, even though he struggles sometimes in the first half of the season, but still one of the best center fielders in the game. But we definitely have issues in left and right field defensively. Things need to get better, but especially in left. Top of the 6th inning with a runner at first with 2 outs. Jose Ferrer on the mound, Jose Altuve in the box. One-two pitch. Change up high and away. 88 miles an hour there by Jose Ferrer. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jose Altuve. Mando with a tenner. Appreciate you. 2-2 pitch, fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs, And again, it's like people love Randy, because he brings energy, when he's in the box. He's a guy that potentially could hit 20 to 35 home runs, right? We get that. But how many are you giving up defensively, with pop-ups and ground balls? And it's definitely more than the home runs that he gets, throughout the year. 2-2 pitch, laser towards third base. And foul by Jose Altuve. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Like, I don't know how many runs he gives up in a year, but if he gets, like, let's say 35 home runs, it's probably a pretty good prediction that he gives up probably 100 runs in the season. In 162 games, depending on how many he's playing, he's probably giving up over 100. So, I mean, it definitely doesn't cancel out. If anything, he's a liability out there. And Jose goes down. Nice punch out there by Jose Ferrer. 7 runs, 13 hits, and an error for the Astros. 7 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Mariners. A big 5-run inning in the bottom of the 5th, and now it's time for the Mariners to take the lead. And let's see if Randy can make up for his poor defense. Now, obviously, he gave up 3 runs yesterday with poor defense, but he hit a 2-run blast in the 5th, and we were tied 3-3, and then we went up 5-3, and I appreciate Randy for doing that, and then we never looked back. But again, if you're going to be able to give up 2, 3, 4, 5 runs a game, you got to help us out in the box. And, you're going to have to hit a solo home run, 2-run jack, 3-run bomb, or a grand salami to kind of even things out. Let's see what Randy can do here. He's up next, 0 for 2 with a K, Randy Arozarena. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, right fielder Luke Raley. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a run, second baseman Cole Young. And again, it's like, I don't want to get on Randy, but again, I feel that we need to be honest with ourselves as fans, when guys are good and when guys are a liability. He kind of reminds me of Robinson Cano, when we got him, there was all this hype and we spent all this money, from the Yankees, but he never really lived up, to the money that we gave him. And obviously we know Cano was better, at defense than what Randy is showing, and I think Nelson Cruz, much more likable. Felix Hernandez, the fucking king, right? And we love Kyle Seager, but again, I just felt like Cano really wasn't a fit, on the Mariners. And I know there's probably people that are Mariner fans in the room that loved Robinson Cano and maybe love Randy, but it comes to a point in a day where we got to call guys out. And there's not going to be too many guys that we call out, but it kind of is a common trend and a common theme. It feels like we call out Randy almost every fucking game, and not only once, sometimes it's twice, 3 times in a game. And then the only way that we can kind of feel good about ourselves is if he ends up hitting a home run to make up for his mistakes early in the game. So we'll see what happens here. Bottom of the 6th, 7-7 Astros and Mariners. Next up is Randy Arozarena, 0 for 2 with a K. 100% agree. It's not like it was 5 feet in front of him. It was like literally like a foot. Like he could have dove for it or stretched the glove out, but again, he just doesn't care. He just would rather just have it bounce in front of him. And I don't like guys that don't try. It's like, I get it. You're a multi-millionaire, but you're hurting the fucking team with your goddamn laziness. I'm sick of it. First pitch from Tang to Arozarena, low and away, 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Hard hit ball by Arozarena, deep right field. And fading foul goes into about the 3rd row. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Oh, yeah. Ichiro, Felix. I mean, I love Kyle Seager, and again, I love Nelson Cruz as well. I mean, there was a few guys, and I loved Raul Ibanez. It's just, it's just kind of a damn shame that we had that, shitty run of 20 years without making the playoffs. I mean, there was definitely guys that were very deserving, of being able to taste the playoffs, but again, some guys are a fit to certain teams, based off personality and play, and some guys that, are just here. I mean, it would have been much better to have Adam Jones never going to the Orioles rather than having fucking Robinson Cano being overpaid and not living up to that money. 1-2 pitch, low and away, 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour there by Tang. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Two pitch to Randy. Little dribbler towards third base and foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. And we've gained all the momentum back after being down 7-2. And again, we got to find a way to win this game. And I said early in the broadcast that maybe we'll come back and win 9-8 or something of that nature. And we're definitely in position to possibly do something like that. And who knows, maybe we'll even get into double digits. 2-2 pitch, foul behind the plate to the T-Mobile bricks and the KeyBank sign. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Yeah, but even though we've never been to a World Series and we had a 20-year drought, we've had some of the greatest players to ever put on cleats to play in Seattle. And I'm definitely proud of that. 2-2 pitch, Ken Griffey Jr., right? Randy Johnson, Edgar Martinez, Ichiro Suzuki. I mean, there's a lot of teams that would be salivating to have talent like that to play on their favorite team. And then we got guys like Julio and Cal and Wu and many others on this team now. It's just, special organization. 3-2 pitch. Ooh, high and inside. Almost hits Randy. And that ends up being a walk for Randy Arozarena. And then there's other guys that aren't as famous as those Hall of Famers that we have a lot of passion and love for. Like Jerry said, with Jay Buhner, Tino Martinez, John Olerud, guys that are, staples and people that we really appreciate and love. Alvin Davis, Harold Reynolds. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, with those guys that maybe aren't as popular as the big Hall of Fame guys, but guys that, were here that did a great job. Brett Boone and many, many others, that, even if they were only on the team for a few years, we have really good, fond memories of those guys. I know I sure as do, for the time that I've been watching since the mid-'80s. Next up is Luke Raley. First pitch from Tang to Raley. Takes a strike looking. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Oh, Seager was amazing. I mean, obviously Corey, his brother, was Mr. October, Reggie Jackson when they ended up winning the World Series. So Corey's always going to be known as probably the better, Seager. But Kyle was the man when he was on the Mariners. I mean, there wasn't too many guys, Raul Ibanez, Kyle Seager, Felix Hernandez, Nelson Cruz. And then obviously we had, like the Randy situation with Robinson Cano, where, sometimes he played well, but, there's also some issues that we had. But Seager was awesome, man. I feel bad for certain guys, that I wish that some of those guys were on the team now, if I'm being honest. 0-2 pitch, high and away. Curveball getting away from Tang there. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Luke Raley. Bottom of the 6th inning, runner at first with no outs, tied up 7-7 after being down 7-2, and a big 5-run bottom of the 5th by Seattle to get us back into this game. Edwin Diaz, Sasaki, Presley, you guys are on it. And again, every fan in this room, was a fan at a different point. Some of you guys were at the very beginning, when the team started, the Seattle Mariners, right? This is our 50th year anniversary. Some of us are in the mid-'80s, like myself, started watching around 85. And then obviously there's going to be others in the 90s and in the 2000s, or maybe within the last 5 to 10 years. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and Luke Raley's timing continues to be off more times than not, and that is 1 away. And again, Luke and Canzone were on fire early with Cole Young and Brendan Donovan, but as of late, very hit or miss with Luke Raley. Needs to get better in the box. 1 for 2 with a run in the 7-hole. Second baseman Cole Young, who's been the best overall player offensively and defensively. Second best hitter, but best defender on the team by a mile. First pitch is high and away to Cole Young, 1-0 count. And I've been watching Cade Anderson, who pitched a gem last night, Ryan Sloan today, and then you got guys like Colt Emerson waiting in the wings, and once we get those 3 guys called up, it's going to be a very, very interesting time in Seattle. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and away again there by Tang. 2 balls and no strikes to Cole Young. Let's go, Cole. Back-to-back 4-seam fastballs to Cole Young. 93 miles an hour and 94 miles an hour by Tang. Let him know, Vapor. We got 140 likes, 260 now, 281 in the room. See if we can get to 200 likes before the stream ends. I think we should have a good chance of doing that. Throw to first, and Randy is safe. Bottom of the 6th, runner at first with 1 out. 2-0 pitch, Takes a strike looking high and away. Sweeper 84 miles an hour there by Tang. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and 1 out. Bottom of the 6th inning, 7-7. We're knotted up with the Astros. Two 2-1 pitch. And that's fouled off behind the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cole Young. But just, having Ken Griffey Jr. and Randy Johnson and Edgar Martinez and Ichiro, it's like, the person that didn't cheat, that had one of the most beautiful swings in Griffey, right? He ended up getting fat and then came back to the Mariners and retired. He did it the right way. Randy turned into Randy playing with us and then did what he did with Kurt Schilling at the Diamondbacks and a few other teams, right? And then obviously Edgar, known as one of the best DHs ever, and Ichiro as one of the best leadoff hitters ever. So we definitely have a rich history, even though we haven't been to a World Series yet. But we will. Within the next 20 years, there's a good chance that we'll end up making 1 or 2. We might not win the first time that we go, but we'll definitely have a very good chance of getting there if we continue down this path, of constructing a team that's good enough to get there. We were one of the final 3 teams last year with the Blue Jays and the Dodgers, and it was heartbreaking. But again, we got further than anyone anticipated, even the fan base. 2-2 pitch. Pitch is low and at the knees. Good eye there by Cole Young. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Yeah, Jamie Moyer was a G, man. He might not have that top end speed, but it was about location like Greg Maddux, and sometimes that ends up being more valuable. 3-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Did he get a tip on it? Looks like I thought maybe he got a little piece of it, but he didn't. And that is strike 3 on Cole Young, which is rare, and that is 2 away. Next up for the Mariners in the 8-hole, DHing, 1 for 2 with a run, the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. And it looks like we might have another pitching change here for the Astros. All right, pitching change. Okay, Brian King coming in. Gotta get the Brian King photo loaded up as we're on a commercial break here. Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I'm your host, Orion. Got a great game here today. Fantastic game yesterday, getting off the schneid after a 5-game losing streak and winning the game 9-6, even though we should have probably won 9-3. But again, Dan Wilson bringing in Cole Wilcox instead of Matt Brash, and then Yordan Alvarez hit a 3-run bomb late, which was unfortunate. And then Andres Munoz almost blew it at the end, but we found a way to get the job done. All right, Brian King coming in for Tang, and now we got the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone, in the box, unless they have someone come in and pinch hit for him, which is possible, but we will see. I mean, Dominic Canzone versus a left-handed hitter, or if they bring in like Rob Refsnyder and whatnot, it's like, again, it's not impossible, for a lefty to hit a lefty or a righty to hit a righty. It doesn't always have to be left-handed pitching against a right-handed batter and vice versa. But, it seems like in baseball circles, it just seems like a lot of times, they like to go with that matchup. But, we'll see what they do. And they are bringing in Refsnyder instead of Canzone, and I don't like this at all. All right, Rob. I mean, Rob hasn't even got a fucking hit this year. He's robbed a home run and he's gotten like 3 walks. But, this is Dan Wilson for you. And I guess this is what we have to deal with. First pitch to Refsnyder, and he fouls it off himself. 0-1 count. And the former Boston Red Sox with Cooper Criswell have not really done too good, in this early stage of the season for the Seattle Mariners. But we'll see how this goes here. ABS is great. It's been one of the best things for baseball. Keeps the umps honest. I mean, we already know how many terrible umps we've had over the years with Angel Hernandez and many others that hold grudges against players, and they end up calling balls strikes and strikes balls, and now you have to kind of be honest now. You can't hold those grudges anymore. 0-1 pitch is fouled off there by Refsnyder. 0-2 pitch, high and away. Four-seam fastball, 90 miles an hour there by Brian King. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Rob Refsnyder, who I believe doesn't even have a hit yet. I mean, how long before you send him to AAA or you just bench him? 1-2 pitch. And again, obviously with, injuries to Victor Robles and others, it's not ideal, but I mean, we do have a guy named Colt Emerson, that could definitely help us offensively and defensively. But we'll see what Rob Refsnyder does here. Pitch fouled off by Refsnyder. And that goes into right field, out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th inning, 7-7 Astros and Mariners. And I would have rather had Dominic Canzone, even though it would have been tougher for him to hit a left-handed pitcher. But who do we trust more as a hitter? Canzone or Refsnyder, who doesn't even have a hit for the year? 1-2 pitch. And that is fouled out of play. Refsnyder is not a good fit for this team. Neither is Randy, but Randy has more talent than Refsnyder. But, we're stuck with these 2 guys and until future notice. So. One-two pitch. Pitch is low and at the knees with the sweeper. 81 miles an hour there by Brian King. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Rob Refsnyder. Like with Rob, best case scenario, he gets walked again for his 4th walk of the season, or he gets hit, but he doesn't get hurt, And again, he raked, against lefties in Boston, but this isn't fucking Boston. 2-2 pitch. Low and at the knees again. Sweeper, 81 miles an hour. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Rob Refsnyder. But Rob's got 3 walks. He's robbed a home run in right field, but he doesn't have a hit, So when you're like 0-10, 0-12, I mean, at some point, I'm not saying you give up on him completely, but we should never have Refsnyder leading off for this team ever again. I don't know what the hell Dan Wilson was smoking. 3-2 pitch. A little dribbler towards third base. Throw to first. And that is out number 3. And still hitless, Rob Refsnyder. And again, I would have rather had Canzone hit, or at least attempt to hit. And if Canzone pops up, grounds out, or strikes out, who cares? It gives you a better chance, when the game now is tied. And again, these stupid substitutions going, left-handed pitching, right-handed hitter. Yeah, it maybe would work if the guy had a fucking hit and actually was a good hitter. But when a guy is like 0 for 12 to start the season, and then, you finally tied the game up, and you got a guy like in Canzone where, he may not be the hottest hitter, but again, it's like, who do you trust more? You don't need to be friends with these guys. You got to be able to play these guys, and you got to have the best guys in. And, that's one thing about baseball that drives me nuts. The matchup, lefty pitcher, righty hitter, righty pitcher, lefty hitter, and again, you're telling me that a left-handed pitcher throws to a left-handed hitter and they're never going to get a hit, or a right-handed pitcher is going to go to a right-handed batter and that batter is never going to get a hit? Give me a break. End of the 6th inning, 7-7 Astros and Mariners, but at least we've tied the game up, and so it is what it is. And now we end up losing Canzone for the rest of the game, but we do bring in Edward Bizardo. And these little subtle, substitutions, I mean, it's, some people may think, it's not a big deal, but sometimes it ends up being a big deal. Let's go to the top of the 7th inning. Tied up 7-7, triple sevens across the board. Edward Bizardo making his way in the game for the Seattle Mariners. Next up for the Stros, 2 for 3 with 2 runs, third baseman Carlos Correa. Batting second in the 6-hole fielder Joey Loperfido, and batting third in the 7-hole right fielder Cam Smith. Gained another sub since the last commercial break. 89 subs to 23,800. And we got Logan Gilbert and George Kirby in the next 2 games. All right, we're at 154 likes. Can we get 46 more people before the game is over to get to 200? We're almost there. First pitch from Edward Bizardo to Carlos Correa. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Hard hit ball into the gap, into right center field. Julio misses it. It goes all the way back to the wall, and that's going to be a stand-up double for Carlos Correa. Should have never left Houston, but he's back. Next up in the 6th hole, left fielder Joey Loperfido. And Edward Bizardo, come on, my guy, you got to be better. Chief Wood Chief in the building. What's good, brother? Long time no see. First pitch from Bizardo to Loperfido, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Top of the 7th inning, 7-7 Astros and Mariners. We were down 7-2 in the 5th, scored 5 in the bottom of the 5th, and we're back in this game. But again, we're really going to have to grind it out if we're going to find a way to win this game 8-7 or 9-8. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss by Joey Loperfido. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at second and no outs. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike right down the middle. Nasty pitch there by Bizardo. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second and no outs. Sinker at 94 miles an hour there by Bizardo on that last pitch. Cole Young, Barbie is still hitting. 1-2 pitch into the gap again. Fucking A. Luke Raley can't get there. Correa goes to third. And Edward Bizardo not looking good coming in. And normally he's one of the better guys in the pen with Matt Brash. Now we got runners at first and third with no outs. So again, if we want to keep this game close, we need to get a strikeout and a double play, or a double play and a strikeout. We got to be able to keep these guys stranded. I'm doing good, man. I hope you're doing well. Astros are hitting the ball today, but again, they have actually been a pretty damn good hitting team to start the year, even with their record. Them and the Dodgers, have been on fire. But obviously the weakness for the Astros is the pitching. And we've taken advantage, right? We've gotten 9 yesterday, 7 today. But again, if we're going to win this game, we're going to have to get to 8, 9, 10, maybe even more, depending on how it goes the rest of the way. First pitch from Bizardo to Cam Smith. Takes a strike looking on the line. Sweeper, 81 miles an hour, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Cam Smith. Sinker, 95 miles an hour there by Bizardo, right down the middle with some high heat. Top of the 7th inning, runners on the corners at first and third, and no outs. We need a strikeout and a double play, or a double play and a strikeout. Come on, Mariners. Trident's up. Come on, Bizardo. It's very uncharacteristic for you to give up, a couple hits coming into the game. 0-2 pitch, high and away. Tries to hit that corner, high and away outside, but misses it maybe by a half inch. Sinker, 94 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners on the corners at first and third and no outs. Top of the 7th inning, tied up 7-7, Astros and Mariners. 1-2 pitch, hard hit ball into deep right field, fading foul. Sinker, 94 miles an hour there by Edward Bizardo. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners on the corners at first and third with no outs. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 15 hits for the Stros today. Give me that punch out, baby. 1-2 pitch. Got him! All right, they're challenging. Let's look at this ABS. Hopefully it goes in our favor. And it is strike 3. There we go. All right, ABS. Great job. And again, that is 1 away. Now, slow dribbler up the middle, right, to either J.P. Crawford or Cole Young. A nice throw to Josh Naylor. Double play. Keep the runner stranded at third, and we get out of the inning, and then we try to put up a run in the bottom of the 7th. Let's make it happen. Let's go. We were blessed with 3 double plays yesterday. We've been able to, have 1 today. And again, if there is a time to get the double play, it's right now. Give me that slow dribbler right up the middle. Next up is Yanier Diaz. First pitch, pops it up. Routine play here for the Mariners in shallow infield. And there we go. J.P. Crawford is there. Carlos Correa cannot go from third to home, and that is 2 away. Double play, we didn't get it, but now we need a strikeout, a pop-up, or a ground out. We don't care one of the 3, and let's keep that runner stranded at third base. And next up is the former Seattle Mariner that put up 3 runs early in the matchup, Taylor Trammell. And that was obviously bad defense to Randy Arozarena in left field. Whether it ends up being a ground ball or a pop-up, an extreme liability. 2 for 3 with a run, 3 RBIs and a K. Almost a similar, start to the game where we put up 3 yesterday and then they put up 3 in the second. We put up 2 with a 2-run home run, 2-run blast by Cal Raleigh after JP got walked. And we were feeling pretty good. But then in the top of the second, what happened? The Astros put up 3. And obviously, Taylor Trammell ended up getting a 3 RBI double, and nothing hurts more, than obviously giving up a 3-run home run or a grand salami. But it seems like it's been kind of a trend against the Mariners lately, getting these big 3 RBI doubles, and I'm getting sick of it. First pitch from Bizzardo to Taylor Trammell. Big swing and a miss. Sweeper 82 miles an hour right down the middle. 0-1 count. Nice pitch there by Bizzardo. Edward Bizzardo on the mound. The former Seattle Mariner, Taylor Trammell, in the box. Come on, Bizzardo. Try dance up. 0-1 pitch. And Loperfido looking like he might steal, but decides not to. 1 ball and 1 strike to Taylor Trammell. All right, take care, Chiefo Chief. 1-1 pitch, crushes it into left field, fading out of play. Sinker 95 miles an hour there by Edward Bizzardo. And again, getting the punch out obviously would be the best way, but we'll take a pop-up or ground out. Just keep that runner at third. Top of the 7th inning, runners on the corners at first and third with 2 outs. Bizzardo on the mound, Taylor Trammell, the former Mariner, in the box. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. I mean, best case scenario, he just goes it right down the middle with some high heat and strike 3, but we'll take anything that we can get here as long as they don't score. Give it to me. 1-2 pitch. Got him! And that is strike 3 on Taylor Trammell. And they're going to challenge. And let's see if this is strike 3. Yes, sir! Right on the corner. Woo! We have been on. When we played the Yankees and they had 5 ABSs in a row, that's the type of game that we're having here today. And normally with the ABS, we might not even have access to it in the 7th inning in some games, but we've been really good today. And obviously with the Astros, they've been, trying to be able to kind of wiggle out of a few of these punch outs. But nice job there by Edward Bizzardo. And again, some of these strike 3 calls, if we didn't have ABS, definitely would have went in the favor of Houston. But again, with the ABS, it's right there on the pitch graph, and we're just getting on those outside corners. Nice job there by Edward Bizzardo after giving up back-to-back hits. Let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and let's take the lead. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with a run, base on ball, and a K, Leo Rivas. I would like to see us bunt at some point before this game is over. Give me some small ball. Batting second, 1 for 2 with 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and a base on ball, shortstop J.P. Crawford. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a run, 3 RBIs with a 2-run blast in the first inning, big dumper Cal Raleigh. Gained 5 subs since the last commercial break. 84 subs to go to 23,800. We got 321 in the room. Let's get to 200 likes before this game is over. I don't think that's too much to ask with that many people in the room. And we're at 169, so we're almost there. $31 people out of 317, and we're there. We're almost there, baby. First pitch from King to Ribas. Takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Fouls that one off towards third base with the sweeper. 78 miles an hour there by Brian King. No balls and 2 strikes to Leo Ribas. Brian King on the mound. Leo Ribas in the box. Let's go, Leo. And if we can find a way to win this game, these would be the best 2 victories that we've had all year, besides the Emerson Hancock first start where we beat the Guardians 8-0. But again, at that point, we didn't have a 5-game losing streak. So again, this would be really sweet if we could end up winning these, first 2 games against the Astros. Plus, my best friend and his dad are there, and he's only going to go to a few games, these 2, and then me and him on the 4th of July. So let's see if we can get the victory for my best friend. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Leo Ribas, and that is 1 away. I would have liked to see Leo bunt, but maybe next time around. Next up, leading off at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. And Brandon Donovan is dealing with the flu, but he should be back tomorrow. Now, I don't know if they're going to have a righty or a lefty, but hopefully it ends up being a righty so we can have, Donovan lead off instead of having him, in the 6 hole and like Ref Snyder leading off again. That's terrible. First pitch from Brian King to J.P. Crawford. Low and away. Great eye there by J.P. 4-seam fastball, 90 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour there by Brian King. 2 balls and no strikes with nobody on and 1 out. We're knotted up at 7 here in the bottom of the 7th. 7-7-7, baby. 2-0 pitch. Fouled off towards third base and foul. 4-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour by Brian King. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Two-one pitch. Popped up into foul territory and drops down to a fan there about 5 rows back. 2 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. Two-two pitch. High and inside. Tried to jam him, but JP didn't bite. 4-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour by Brian King. Count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to JP Crawford. Take the walk, JP, unless it's right down the middle. 3-2 pitch. And that's a walk. And again, a lot of, players in that situation would have bit and would have, tried to swing. But JP's got some good patience there. And another walk for JP Crawford. Nice job. And with that patience, that led in the first inning to Cal Raleigh, not hitting a solo dinger, but hitting a 2-run blast because of JP's patience. Nice job by JP Crawford, forcing the walk. And now we got the big dumper trying to get his 2nd home run of the game. And we know we have late inning heroics out of Cal Raleigh last year, many, many times. And he can hit home runs from the left and the right, even though he's had a slow start. And let's see if we can get a little bit of that Mariner mojo and that Mariner magic here. First pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, hard hit ball towards third base and foul. Nice sweeper there by Brian King. No balls and 2 strikes to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Try to hits up, let's go M's. Come on, Cal. 0-2 pitch. Hard hit ball into right field, out of play. 4-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour there by big dumper. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first, JP, with 1 out. Tried hits up, let's go M's. Come on, Cal. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 0-2 pitch. Hard hit ball towards third base and foul by maybe 3 to 5 feet. No balls and 2 strikes to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. Bottom of the 7th, runner at first, J.P. Crawford with one out. Mariners were down 7-2. Luis Castillo shit the bed. Randy Arozarena obviously shit the bed with his defense, but we had a great 5-run inning there in the 5th. 0-2 pitch, fouled off again. Cal Raleigh is grinding. Sweeper, 81 miles an hour by Brian King. No balls and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. I mean, imagine if Castillo would have just given up like 2 runs or 3. We would be in a really good position right now. Up 7-3, 7-4, 7-5 instead of it being 7-7. So, but again, good heart from this team. Considering we were on a 5-game losing streak going into yesterday's game, found a way to get the job done, winning 9-6, and we're trying to get the victory here. 0-2 pitch. And a hard hit ball up the middle. Could be a double play. Throw to first. And got him. Big double play for Houston. Down goes Cal Raleigh. And we got Matt Brash warming up in the pen. Definitely feels like it might be an 8-7, 9-8 kind of game. Could be in regulation, could be in extras, but I just pray that we can find a way to win this, even if it's only by just 1 run. Next up is Allen, Alvarez, and Paredes. And we got Brash coming in. Nick Allen is up next. All right, Matt Brash coming into the game for the Mariners. Nick Allen leading off here, 0 for 1 for the Astros. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. And it looks like they're going to swap him out and bring in Christian Walker, which is probably the smart move. All right, so they decided to go off Allen, and now they're going Christian Walker. First pitch to Christian Walker, deep center field, but Julio is there. No fly zone in effect. Nice job there by Julio Rodriguez, and that is 1 away. We can always trust Julio out there in the outfield getting the job done. Nice job, J-Rod. Next up, 2 for 4 with a run, RBI, and a home run early in the matchup, as well as a 3-run blast late yesterday, Yordan Alvarez. First pitch to Alvarez is low and at the knees. Change up 90 miles an hour, low and away, 1-0 count. Don't pitch it right down the middle. I mean, he's already hit a 3-run blast yesterday on Cole Wilcox and had a big home run, obviously, earlier today as well. It's like, you don't need to necessarily treat him in the same way as like Ohtani or like Judge, but, when Alvarez is healthy, he is dangerous. Pitch is high and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Yordan Alvarez. 2-0 pitch. And check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Change up low and away, 90 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike from Brash to Yordan Alvarez. 2-1 pitch. Pulls a ball into right field. And fair. Holy hell. And a hard throw there by Rayleigh. Throwing to second and safe just barely. Brash on the mound. Yordan Alvarez. 111 miles an hour off the bat there in deep right field. And at least it ended up going to right field rather than left field. Because if it was in left field, the Randy Arosarena, that probably would have been a triple. Next up for the Astros in the 3-hole, first baseman Isaac Paredes. On deck is Jose Altuve. First pitch from Brash to Paredes, right down the middle, 0-1 count. Top of the 8th inning, runner at second, Yordan Alvarez, and 1 out. We're knotted up at 7. Astros were up 7-2 in the 5th. We scored 5 in that inning, and now we have a tie game. They have 16 fucking hits today. We only have 6, but we have some pretty big ones to get to 7. They have an error. We don't have any yet, but pretty big discrepancy. They have 10 more hits than us, but the game is tied. Top of the 8th inning, 7-7 Astros and Mariners. There's always a lot of drama when we play the Astros, Rangers, Athletics, or Angels in the AL West. My best friend and his dad are there at the game, and were there yesterday. Got to find a way to win this game. 0-1 pitch, high and inside. Sinker, 97 miles an hour there by Brash. 1 ball and 1 strike to Isaac Paredes. Let him know, Vapor. We're almost to 200. 1-1 pitch. Popped up into shallow left field. Randy is there. And that is 2 away. Next up for the Astros in the 4-hole today, second baseman Jose Altuve. And they had many players, switched up in not only the batting order today from yesterday's loss, but also playing a different position. And normally you don't see like 7 or 8 out of 9 guys play a new position and also move around in the order. But again, they're trying to figure out a new method to the madness after losing 5 in a row like we did. Coming into the series, we had a 5-game losing streak. They had a 4-game losing streak, getting swept by the Rockies. So when you end up losing 9-6, adjustments need to be made. And obviously they put up 7 today. They didn't probably take in consideration that we would put up 7 as well. First pitch from Brash to Altuve. High and in the zone. Should have been a strike, but called ball. Sinker, 96 miles an hour by Brash. 1-0 count. One 0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Jose Altuve. Top of the 8th inning, runner at second with 2 outs. 7-7 Astros and Mariners. 2-0 pitch, low and away. 3 balls and no strikes to Jose Altuve. And they are going to do an automatic ball here, and they're just going to walk him. And we know how dangerous Altuve is. Him, Correa, as well as Yordan Alvarez. Those guys are thorn in our sides, not only to us, but for the whole league. So, all right, intentional walk there to Altuve on a 3-0 count. And we got to be very careful here. Next up is Carlos Correa. 3 for 4 with 2 runs. Got to be very careful here. Matt Brash on the mound. Carlos Correa in the box. Top of the 8th inning with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Come on, Brash. And Cal with a mound visit. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Stream is for all fans as long as you can be respectful, but once the respect line has been drawn, then we know what happens after that. Top of the 8th inning, runners at first and second with 2 outs. 7-7 Astros and Mariners. And that's a pop-up into shallow right field. Get that. And there we go. Josh Naylor with out number 3. And we love that. We leave 2 stranded there. And nice job there by Matt Brash. Beautiful. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 8th and see if we can take the lead. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Next up for the Mariners, 2 for 3 with a run, 2 RBIs and a K. Has a home run today, which we predicted. Center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Batting second, 0 for 3, first baseman Josh Naylor. And if Josh could get past swinging at the first pitch on every fucking at-bat this whole season, maybe he would be able to get going. Be patient, Naylor. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a base on ball and a K, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Sometimes guys get in slumps, but sometimes it's self-inflicted if you're just going to be swinging at the first pitch on every at-bat. It's ridiculous. Gained 2 more subs since the last commercial break. And we've gained almost 25 subs today, which is fantastic. Christian Walker goes to first base for the Houston Astros. Paredes goes to third. And we're at 199 likes. We need 1 more to get to 200. And I know there's at least 1 person in here out of the 400 that we can get there. One more. And with 395 in the room, with a couple innings to go, we might be able to get to 250. I don't know if we'll be able to get to 300 if we can get, that many people to support. But it's possible that we could get to 250 to 300, especially we have about 400 in the room. Bottom of the 8th inning, 7-7 Astros and Mariners. It's always a war. It's always a battle. And let's be honest, Astros fans hate us. We hate them. But again, it's not just us that have an issue with Houston, right? But again, it makes for a good rivalry. I always look forward to these games every single year. Usually the games are close, and we'll see what happens here in these last 2 innings. All right, now blue ball is coming in there for Houston, relieving Brian King. 0-1 pitch, low and away to Julio Rodriguez. 1 ball and 1 strike. With nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 8th, 7-7, Astros and Mariners. Come on, Julio. 1-1 pitch, high and inside. Sweeper, 83 miles an hour there by blue ball. 2 balls and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Vapor with a 20. Appreciate you. Vapor has been the MVP all year. And obviously taking my pup to the vet is a priority, so I appreciate you. 2-1 pitch, high and inside. Good eye there by Julio. 3 balls and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Bottom of the 8th inning. Nobody on with no outs. 3 balls and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. 3-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Tried to jam him inside. Nasty pitch there by blue ball. Now count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Vapor with a 20. Appreciate you. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. 3-2 pitch. Hard hit ball. Deep right field. Fading foul. 4-seam fastball. 96 miles an hour. High heat by blue ball. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 8th inning. We're tied at 7 after the Astros were up 7-2 on the Mariners, but we put up 5 in the bottom of the 5th, and now the game is in reach if we can just find a way. 3-2 pitch, and Julio fouls that one behind the plate. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Julio with a little dribbler, and that ends up being foul. Sweeper there by AJ Blueball. Logan with a $5. Thank you so much. Every dollar counts. 3-2 pitch. And a dribbler towards third base. Throw to first. And just got Julio in time. And that is 1 away. Paper with the 20. Logan with a $5. Appreciate you. Next up is Josh Naylor. And first pitch, Naylor, line drive. Great defense there in right field. And again, Naylor just doesn't learn, does he? He just doesn't give a shit. You know, what are you doing? Every single at-bat. And you wonder how he's got like the least amount of opportunity because he's swinging at the first pitch on literally every at-bat in the season. And then, you know, you look at his batting average and you wonder why he's doing so shitty, you know, and this is a guy that was stealing bags for us. And we thought this is the perfect first baseman for us, you know, for the future. But again, you need to learn from your mistakes. And he's just not learning. He's just doing the same shit over and over again. Next up is Randy Arozarena. You know, at some point, you know, you start to be a liability out there. AJ Blueball on the mound. Randy Arozarena in the box. And it's not like Naylor is stealing bags like he was last year. Now, his defense is usually pretty good at first, you know, so we'll give him that. You know, but as far as in the box, I mean, he's doing by far the worst out of everyone on the team. You know, at least Julio and Cal have been able to get it going, you know, but... And again, obviously the home run getting robbed by Joe Adell for Naylor, Cal, and JP wasn't ideal, you know, but you got to get past that. 1-1 pitch, a little foul tip there by Randy in front of the catcher. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. I just never seen a guy that's so talented like Josh Naylor just like give up and just be like, well, I'm just going to hope that it's a pitch right down the middle and swing. And, you know, he's been out like, I don't know how many times in a row off a first pitch. It's just ridiculous. It's either strikeout, you know, you would think it could get to that point, but it's not. It's like a pop-up or a ground out every time. And in the beginning of the season, it was just like little slow dribblers. And then he was able to get pop-ups in the outfield after like the 5th or 6th game. But now it's just, you know, 1 pitch and then he's out. And it's not just 1 at-bat. It's like every fucking at-bat. 1-2 pitch, fouled off behind the plate by Randy. 1 ball and 2 strikes from AJ Blueball to Randy Arozarena. Bottom of the 8th inning, 7-7, Astros and Mariners. And I just wish that, you know, Naylor could get to pitch 4, pitch 5, because maybe he could get walked a few times. Maybe he gets hit by a pitch, and maybe he actually gets a pitch that he can connect on. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Nothing is more frustrating when you watch, you know, one of your favorite players, you know, just swing at the first 2 pitches and then get out over and over and doesn't make the adjustment. And that's something that the coaches and, you know, Edgar and Seitzer and Dan have to talk to him. Little dribbler, throw to first. Poor ass effort by Randy running to first. I mean, what is this, an exhibition game? Like, show some fucking hustle running to first. He's always fucking jogging. I mean, we finally got 5 runs in the 5th to have this game tied 7-7, and his run to first is like we're down by 10 runs. Like, run hard to first. You never know, you know, if the throw is wild or if the first baseman might drop it, you know, instead of just thinking, oh, I'm out, I don't give a shit. Like, show some fucking hustle. I mean, but again, what do we expect? Randy doesn't show hustle on defense and left field. We can't expect him to hustle to first base anyways. End of the 8th inning, 7-7, Astros and Mariners. Let's see who's up next for H-Town and see what we have in store for the Seattle Mariners. Next up for the Stros, 2 for 3 with 2 runs, a base on ball, and a K. In the 6th hole, left fielder Joey Loperfido. And Munoz is coming in. Hopefully he doesn't shit the bed. Batting second in the 7th hole, right fielder Cam Smith. And we'll see in the 8th hole if it will still be Yanier Diaz. And hopefully we get the good Mooney. We're going to need it. Almost blew the game for us late yesterday. 82 subs to go to 23,800. Let's go. Legumina, Ferrer, Bizardo, and Brash doing their thing. And we're at 225 likes. Can we get 25 more to get to 250? $75 to $300. I mean, with 427 in the room, there's a chance. Let's go. First pitch from Andres Munoz, low and at the knees to Joey Loperfido. 1-0 count. Come on, Mooney. And you can usually tell if it's going to be a good Mooney or a bad Mooney within the first, probably 7 pitches. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss there by Joey Loperfido. 1 ball and 1 strike from Munoz to Loperfido. Top of the 9th. We're knotted up at 7. Definitely feels like a game that could be won 8-7 by either team, in regulation or in extras. 1-1 pitch. High and away. 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour by Andres Munoz. 2 balls, 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 9th inning, 7-7, Astros and Mariners. Two-one pitch. Foul towards left field, out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 9th inning, we're knotted up at 7. Two-two pitch, high and away. This is a little concerning here. 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, high and away. He's only had 1 pitch out of 6 that have hit the strike zone. Not ideal. 3-2 pitch. There we go. Big punch out. Down goes Loperfido, and that is 1 away. And after only having 1 pitch in the strike zone out of the first 5, found a way to get that strikeout there on Loperfido. Great job, Mooney. And that is 1 away. Next up for the Astros, 3 for 4. With a run, 2 RBIs and a K, Cam Smith. First pitch, big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. I believe on deck will be Yanier Diaz unless they have someone pinch hit for him. Top of the 9th inning with 1 out and nobody on. Andres Munoz on the mound, the closer for the Mariners. Tridents up. Cam Smith, the right fielder, in the box. 0-1 pitch. Ooh, right down the middle. Sinker, 98 miles an hour. Now he's starting to get into a groove. No balls and 2 strikes to Cam Smith. And Andres Munoz is definitely a top 5 closer in the game. Sometimes top 10, depending on the consistency. But most of the time, recognized as top 5. Line drive. And unbelievable, that ends up getting past. He's going for 2. And a bad throw there. I don't know what happened. Couple chances there to be able to get Cam Smith, and he runs hard from first and gets a stand-up double there. And Rivas just kind of stands there as it goes through the mitt. And then when we finally end up getting that ball and we throw to second, we just end up having a wild throw. And again, does Brandon Donovan make that play? Probably, even though he is playing a new position this year. And then obviously Cole Young has it go out of the top of the mitt. And if he is able to squeeze the mitt, that's out by a mile. Got to be able to recover from those mistakes. Nice hit by Cam Smith. First pitch to Yanier Diaz is low and away with a slider. 1-0 count. Come on, Mariners. One-0 pitch. Hard hit ball into right field, fading foul. 4-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour by Andres Munoz. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at second. Cam Smith with 1 out. Top of the 9th inning, 7-7 Astros and Mariners. Yeah, I mean, it's not often that Munoz is just going to retire the side, just striking out 3 guys in a row. I mean, sometimes he gets a little shaky. 1-1 pitch popped up. Shallow right field. Please, God, get that. And there we go. And Naylor with a nice throw to third. And he is safe. Nice play there by Josh Naylor. He might not be able to hit and not have patience in the box, but at least we can trust him defensively. Nice job, Josh. Now, that would have been amazing if he was able to catch that ball, and then fire it into third and get that last out. But, tough play when you're that far away. Cam Smith's got some good speed. Diaz flies out to first, Smith to third. Next up is the former Mariner, Taylor Trammell. Come on now. Keep him at third. First pitch is low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Andres Munoz on the mound for the Mariners. Taylor Trammell in the box for the Astros. And we got a mound visit here by Cal Raleigh. Just trying to settle down Mooney. We got the 2 outs. Pop up, ground out, strikeout. I mean, it doesn't really feel like he's going to get the strikeout, but, if you can get a couple, pitches fouled off to make it 1-2, then, there might be a chance, but just got to find a way to be efficient here. And then we'll have one chance here in the bottom of the ninth to try to win this game, and hopefully we can keep that runner stranded at third. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Top of the ninth inning, runner at third with 2 outs. We're tied up at 7 after being down 7-2. We got 5 runs in the 5th. 1-0 pitch, check swing. Did he go? He did not. Slider 88 miles an hour missing by Mooney. 2 balls and no strikes to Taylor Trammell. Come on, Munoz. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Top of the ninth, runner at third, 2-0 pitch, popped up. Oh my God, almost a home run, but just faded foul in the last 3 seconds of that ball down. Oh, that would have been a 2-run blast. That might have been game over for Seattle, and that thankfully ended up catching a little bit of wind there. 2 balls and 1 strike to Taylor Trammell. Top of the ninth, runner at third with 2 outs, tied up at 7. And again, Randy Arozarena kind of shit the bed with his defense in left field. Luis Castillo was terrible today, but with all that being said, we were still able to catch up and getting 5 runs in the bottom of the 5th to tie it at 7. Being down 7-2, it looked a little grim, but we had faith. 2-1 pitch, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 99 miles an hour by Mooney. 3 balls and 1 strike with a runner at third and 2 outs. Come on, Munoz. 3-1 pitch. And a fucking walk, damn it. And Taylor Trammell at first. And now we got runners on the corners. And next up, obviously filling in for Jeremy Pena, Christian Walker. Walker is kind of known for pop-ups. So, I don't know if Mooney will get the strikeout, but hopefully we'll just get a pop-up in the shallow center field, and we can end up getting out of this jam. No, he's obviously batting very well this season, batting .315 with 3 home runs, but, hopefully Mooney can get a nice pitch for him to pop up. First pitch to Walker, low and away. Slider, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, low and away. Come on, Munoz. Slider, 89 miles an hour, missing low and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Christian Walker. Top of the 9th inning, runners on the corners at first and third with 2 outs. Come on, Mooney. 2 balls and no strikes to Christian Walker. 2-0 pitch. Almost hits him high and inside. Slider, 87 miles an hour. And he looked shaky yesterday, and we got extremely lucky to get the victory, after it got very dicey. And again, getting dicey again here. 3 balls and no strikes to Christian Walker. 3-0 pitch. And a walk. Jesus Christ. And now we got bases loaded with 2 outs. This is very similar to yesterday. And we were able to get that dribbler towards third and a toe tap on the bag to, end up winning the game yesterday. But, oh, brother. I mean, we definitely have a knack for the dramatics, don't we? And this is going to get really crazy. Next up is Yordan Alvarez, who's homered yesterday and today already. Oh, God. First pitch to Alvarez. Low and at the knees. Should have been probably a strike. It looks like it was in the strike zone based off the pitch graph, but gets called ball. 98-mile-an-hour sinker, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. High and away. Can't find the strike zone if his life depended on it. 2 balls and no strikes to Yordan Alvarez. Come on, Mooney. You can't be a top 5, top 10 closer by shitting the bed like this. 2-0 pitch. Popped up. There we go. And Randy is there. Don't drop it. There we go. And we leave 3 stranded. That's what I'm talking about. Time to win this game. 8-7 in the bottom of the 9th. Damn. You know, again, Mooney really likes to keep us on our heels. And again, the Astros had a great opportunity there with bases loaded for, you know, the guy that's one of the most clutch. I mean, he hit a 3-run bomb late yesterday, hit a home run today, but thankfully pops up to Randy, even though he's a liability in left field, but gets the job done. Let's go to the bottom of the 9th inning and see if we can win this game 8-7. And if we can't win it here, let's see if we can win in 10, 11, or 12. Oh, baby. Let's go to the bottom of the 9th. Let's see who's up next. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, right fielder Luke Raley. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a run and a K. The best overall offense and defensive player on the team, Cole Young. Second best hitter to Brandon Donovan, who's got the flu, should be back tomorrow. Let's go Cole Young. And then batting third, 0 for 1, right fielder and a DHer, Rob Refsnyder. And hopefully we bring someone else in for Rob. Like anybody but Rob. But who knows? Maybe he'll be the unsung hero, even though he hasn't got a hit so far in the year. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Gained another sub since the last commercial break. 81 subs do 23,800. See if we can get 300 likes before this game is over. We got 520 people in the room. We're at 233. All right, 233 likes, 67 to get to 300. We'll see. And we got Brendan Donovan sitting in the box, so we might actually get him with an opportunity. You know, he's battling with the cold and the flu, and it was rumored that he may not be able to play today, but they were going to have him play tomorrow. So maybe Donnie could come in there and be the hero. First pitch, there by Abreu to Raley. Big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, Raley pops it up. Should be fading out of play. No balls and 2 strikes to Luke Raley. Abreu on the mound, Luke Raley in the box. O2 pitch in there for a ball to Luke Raley. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 9th. We're knotted up at 7. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and Luke Raley's timing continues to be off, and that is 1 away. Next up is Cole Young, and then I believe it will be Brandon Donovan. So we end up getting our 2 best hitters on the team. So if we're going to win this game, we're going to have a pretty good shot here. Let's go, Cole. First pitch to Cole Young is high and away, 1-0 count. Cole Young is the second best hitter on the team, and if Brandon Donovan comes in, which he will, then we'll have our number 1 and our number 2 here. Come on, Cole. 1-0 pitch, low and away, 2 balls and no strikes to Cole Young. Two 0 pitch. High and away. I like this. A meltdown by Abreu. 3 balls and no strikes to Cole Young. Come on, Mariners. Find a way. You know, we were down 7-2 in this game and scored 5 runs in the 5th. So 3-0 pitch. Takes a strike right down the middle. Nasty pitch there by Abreu. Four-seam fastball. Heater right down the middle. 93 miles an hour. 3 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. 3-1 pitch. High and away, and that is a 5-pitch walk. Nice job by Cole Young. Great patience there. And after missing a few games due to an illness, a cold and a flu, Brendan Donovan. Let's go, Donnie. The best player on the Mariners hitting-wise. And again, you know, after he came back where he missed 2 games with the growing injury, he was off. In that second game, he went and got, you know, kind of loose. So we'll see if Donnie can come up with something big here. And now Houston's going to have a little meeting here on how they want to pitch to Brendan Donovan. Let's go, Donnie. The best hitter on the team, Cole Young, number 2. Let's see if Brendan Donovan can end up getting a home run here or a big RBI. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Bottom of the 9th inning. Runner at first, Cole Young with 1 out. Abreu on the mound. Brendan Donovan pinch hitting in the box. First pitch. Low and at the knees. Great eye by Donnie. And he was, that same type of player, for the St. Louis Cardinals. Pretty patient in the box, which is great for us. Slider, 88 miles an hour, low and at the knees, missing by Abreu, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch. High and away. Four-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour, missing by Abreu. 2 balls and no strikes to Brendan Donovan. I mean, if we just don't swing, we might be able to keep getting a few of these guys walked. Obviously, getting a big home run or RBI would be great, but Abreu having a little bit of an issue here, just like Munoz did in the top of the 9th. A lot of pressure. Two-0 pitch, low and away. 3 balls and no strikes to Brendan Donovan. A little bit of a mini meltdown here by Abreu, just like Mooney had in the top of the 9th. Bottom of the 9th inning. We're tied at 7 after being down 7-2. Scored 5 runs in the 5th to tie it up 7-7. 3-0 pitch. High and away, and a 4-pitch walk to Brendan Donovan. Here we go. Nice job there by Donnie. Great patience. Young to second. Donnie to first. Next up is Leo Rivas. Come on, Leo. First pitch, high and inside. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour by Abreu. 1-0 count. Hasn't had a strike in like 9 pitches. One-0 pitch. Finally gets a strike. High and away. Slider, 86 miles an hour by Abreu. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at first and second and 1 out. 7-7 tie here in the bottom of the 9th. Abreu on the mound. Leo Rivas in the box. Come on, Leo. 1-1 pitch. High and inside. Slider, 88 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike to Leo Rivas. Come on, Leo. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 2-1 pitch. And crushes it towards first base and foul. Slider, 87 miles an hour there by Abreu. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. Bottom of the 9th inning, tied at 7. Astros were up 7-2, but we got 5 runs in the 5th. And again, we're just trying to find a way to be able to get this game-winning hit. 2-2 pitch. Low and at the knees. Good patience by the Mariner batters here in the bottom of the ninth. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Let's see if we can get another walk here, unless we end up getting a good pitch to be able to swing at. Abreu having issues just like Munoz did in the top of the ninth. 3-2 pitch. And fouls it towards first base. As Rivas goes down to one knee. Looks like he got a little bit of peace there. Hopefully he's okay. Slider 87 miles an hour there by Abreu. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. Bottom of the ninth, and we're tied at 7. Come on, Leo. Find a way, baby. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Three-two pitch. And that ends up being a walk. Let's go. Bases loaded. I mean, honestly, if we just don't swing, that runner from third is going to come home. And we got JP Crawford. So again, JP is one of the most patient players on the team. And again, it's, an opportunity to be a hero, to try to hit a grand salami or a RBI single. But if just JP doesn't swing, I think we win this game, based on what we've seen here in the bottom of the ninth. Abreu has been very shaky, just like Munoz was in the top of the ninth. And let's see how much patience JP Crawford has here in the box. Bases loaded with 1 out. Come on, JP. First pitch from Abreu to JP Crawford. Finally gets a strike to go right down the middle, 0-1 count. Come on, JP. 0-1 pitch. JP crushes it into left field, fading out of play. No balls and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. Now, obviously, getting a walk here is not going to happen unless you end up getting 4 straight balls. But, when you're in an 0-2 count, now we're not going to be able to get him to come home with a walk. I mean, unless JP ends up having the most disciplined at-bat in fucking baseball history and just doesn't swing in 4 straight pitches, which is unlikely. 0-2 pitch. JP, here we go! Base knock, and the Mariners win! Mariners win! Mariners win! Fuck yeah! Woo! Let's go! Let's go! Hell yeah! Final score, Seattle Mariners 8, Astros 7. We win 2 in a row. My best friend and his dad are there in the 2 best games of the year. Besides that 8-0 victory by Emerson Hancock against the Guardians, these are the 2 best victories for the Seattle Mariners so far to start the year. And man, what a victory. JP Crawford, let's go. Hell yeah. And I know Astro fans are mad. Obviously, this is a big rivalry, right? Let's be real. Astros fans hate us. We hate them. But that one felt really good. Let's go. Nice job there by JP Crawford. Abreu, very shaky like Munoz. But the difference was they had bases loaded. Guess what? They got nothing. We had bases loaded. We get the job done. Let's go. And obviously the final score at the top is not 7-7, it's 8-7, but that's ESPN for you. All right, let's go over the stat line for both teams here, and then we'll end up calling it a day. Wow, baby. And you got to remember, there was fans in the room that left when we were down 7-2, thinking that, we weren't going to come back, but I told y'all, have some faith. And, 9 times out of 10, when you're down 7-2, yeah, you're going to lose the game, 9 times out of 10. But, that one time, if you can find a way to have somebody shit the bed on the mound and you can get a little bit of a rally going, sometimes magic can happen. And the Mariner mojo was alive here today. All right, let's take a look at some of the stats here. All right, Pena 1 for 3, Allen 0 for 1, Walker 0 for 1, Yordan Alvarez 3 for 6 with a home. Hernandez 1 for 5, Altuve 1 for 4, Correa with a good game 3 for 5, Loperfido 2 for 4, Cam Smith, oh my gosh, 4 for 5 game, Yanier Diaz 0 for 5, and then obviously Taylor Trammell, the former Mariner, 2 for 4. JP Crawford, the hero there, obviously 2 for 3 with 2 walks, 2 singles, 2 runs, 3 RBIs, and the big game-winning RBI there. They'll have us win 8-7, but, ESPN is lazy, so obviously they make it a 7-7 final above me, but we know that we won 8-7. So JP Crawford, 1 for 2 with 2 runs, 2 RBIs, the game-winning hit. Shout out to him. Cal Raleigh with a 2-run blast in the first inning with JP getting the walk, 1 for 3 and a home run. At the beginning of the game, I said this might be a game where we need Cal and Julio to both hit a home run, and they both did. Julio Rodriguez, 2 for 4 with a home run. Naylor, 0 for 4, swinging at first pitches too often. Change that. Randy, 0 for 3. Rayleigh, 0 for 4. Cole Young, 1 for 3. Dominic Canzone, 1 for 2. Ref Snyder, pinch hitting, 0 for 1. Donovan, obviously taking the walk. And then Leo Ribas, 0 for 2. And you got to think, Castillo, 3.1 innings pitched. He gave up fucking 10 hits, right? 7 earned runs, only 3 Ks and a walk, and we came back and won this game. Unbelievable. And again, we got 2 afternoon games tomorrow on Sunday and Monday, and if we can find a way to win with Logan Gilbert tomorrow, then we can always talk about a sweep with George Kirby on Monday. But again, these 2 games, for my best friend and his dad, are the 2 best games of the year. You couldn't ask for a better finish in both games. Absolutely phenomenal. Shout out to Vapor. Shout out to Bash. Shout out to Chad. Vapor again. Vapor again. You can kind of see a common theme here. Vapor again. Mando with a 10er. Vapor again. Logan with a 5er. I appreciate you guys very, very much, and all the people that liked, subbed, donated, commented, shared. Oh, man, this one feels good. And JP Crawford ends up being the hero, bringing that electricity with bases loaded. And honestly, if he didn't swing, I think that we would have ended up walking him in, because Abreu was a little wild. But, it's better to be able to get that game-winning home run or RBI rather than taking the walk. But guess what? A victory is a victory. Final score, Mariners 8, Astros 7. We won the first 2 games in the series after having a 5-game losing streak. And this one feels very, very good. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very much. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out if you could. And again, final score, Seattle Mariners 8, Astros 7. And I got one question for you. Well, talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I am out. 8-7 final. JP Crawford, the hero. Tridents up. Go Mariners. Let's go.